I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:33. Is there anyone tape recording or videoing the event? Lake Cam is present. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move right on. Ellen? Ellen here? Ellen? Kenny? She's not here. We're going to move to number 2. Minister Cupey, you're up. Your concern? Question?
Well, I've never been to a meeting before, so I don't really know how this goes.
Direct it to me, and then I...
Okay, so can you just explain to me what the Park Commission does and how...
The Park Commission is an elected board of 5.
Okay.
We manage here at Ted Williams Camp, Clear Pond Park, John Pond Park, and a couple of the little parks that we're supposed to be in control of. But
Okay.
the highway mows them for us, so.
Well, my name is Tony Cupey. I live 18 Vaughn Street in Lakeville. So I guess my concern is with Clear Pond. I have to commend Doug Berry because my son, my wife and I would go down there, and since we've seen him down there the past couple of years, and he's doing a great job with I think the limited resources that he has. So a couple of my concerns is one, smoking in the park. It seems to me that, you know, it's a park for kids and families. It's just, you know, so many places that you go to nowadays. It's like, you just don't see smoking areas, whether it's amusement parks or stuff like that. And I've noticed there's a specific section inside Clear Pond for smoking. You know, I just don't think that gives a great message to kids. Also with vaping, I know that people are vaping inside the park. Alcohol is being brought in the park. I don't know, I thought it was a more family atmosphere, and that I just don't see a place for those things. So that's one of my concerns. 2 would be trash. I guess that has to go along with, you know, the capacity of people coming into the park. I mean, being a resident of Raytown Street, you know, whenever I walk into the park, if I see something on the ground, I want to pick it up, you know, because I don't want people trashing the park. I know, again, Doug, you know, instructs the people that work there the best that he can to try to take care of the trash. But it seems like there's an enormous amount. You know, I look at trash barrels, there's just piles of bottles and stuff like that. There doesn't seem to be any system for recycling, or, you know, even we could be using some of the deposit cans with a 5-cent deposit on them to go to help fund the park. So trash is definitely a concern with the number of people, which I'll get to in a minute. And then funding, I guess it's my understanding that funding was, Clear Pond used to be funded. I don't know, maybe you guys can shed some light on that for me, how the history of it went. It's my understanding now that basically Clear Pond and Ted Williams Camp have to raise their own funds to...
We're an enterprise fund. We get no tax dollars from the town.
Okay. And how did that decision come about?
Before I was on the board, but they decided to make it a enterprise fund because the town at the time stripped the budget, so they had no budget. So the only way they could do it was to become an enterprise fund and charge fees.
I think the dump is an enterprise fund too, right?
The dump is, but it's not a very successful enterprise fund.
Okay, so, I mean, is there any talk for the future for that to change? Because it's hard when it's like that because you're depending on, you know, people coming in and using the facilities to fund it. And sometimes it doesn't seem like when you have the capacities that I've seen down at Clear Pond, I don't know if enough resources are being allocated towards that venue sometimes.
Just to let you know, the money that's raised at Clear Pond Park does not pay for Clear Pond Park.
So we lose money in Clear Pond.
We lose money at Cliff Point Park. If it wasn't for this building you're sitting in right now
Uh-huh.
and the events that we have here, none of these would be funded.
Well, I guess that being said, I mean, people that I've talked to in town, they seem to really enjoy, I went to one of the open space committee meetings, and one of the concerns that a lot of the residents had was that, geez, they wanted to keep the open spaces in Lakeville, you know, open and accessible and have nice trails and, you know, going along with this place and keep it clean. So I'm not really sure, I know you said that was in the past, that, you know, funding was stripped for that.
So, I mean, there's probably a lot of topics we can get through, but just to like, generally, I don't want to speak for anybody in the board, but we definitely would love to see that too. So I always would recommend to anybody that would ask, just go to like a town hall or sit with the commission, like the,
Speak with your selectmen.
selectmen, thank you.
Bring up an article for vote in a town
Exactly.
meeting. If you have a better idea, we work with what we have.
Yeah.
And
We're handed this and we're doing the best we can.
But
So you
if the
guys-
town wants something, then that's the whole purpose of it, right? So that's what we'd love to see that, but we
Right, you
can't
don't
really
have
organize
anything
that.
to do with the funding, you just.
The conversation was brought up, and I was approached by one of the selectmen, and they said, well, we can make you a town department. I said, great, fantastic. We don't have to charge any more fees. Oh, no, we want you to keep charging the fees. We want to keep bringing the money in. So you're going to fight that battle.
Mhm.
They like the way the cash comes in. They're going to
And they
continue
can
to want
speak
to
to
see
the
it.
budget, they can speak to all the, we can't speak to that stuff, but that's a really good conversation to have at
Yeah, I
any
mean,
selectmen meeting,
it-
any town hall meeting, they're all open, you can go to those as well.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's a conversation. It seems that there's a lot of building going on with large companies coming into
Yeah.
town.
Yep.
It's part of a bigger conversation for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're very much preaching the choir right now, so we 100% agree.
Okay, so I mean, so keeping the park clean, and then just the capacity of numbers. I mean, Clear Pond is not a big pond. I mean, it's gotta be probably the smallest pond besides other really small ponds in Miles Standard State Park around here, that people come into. And I'm just a little bit concerned about the capacity of numbers. Is there a cap on how many people that can come in per day? Do you guys know that?
Do we have
we leave that up to
a,
Doug.
we don't have anything like capacity.
No, the only limitation we have is parking.
Parking.
And the ability to, lifeguard to people ratio
Right,
maybe.
right.
I know you've spoken to that once
We're
before.
covered, yeah.
But there was like, 10,000 people showed up, obviously.
Oh, yeah. We can put about, I think it's about 125 to 140 cars in there.
Okay.
After that, July 4th, it gets busy, and we end up, the two different places we're able to send them.
But the numbers
Because
you,
it's allowed. But
but the
that's,
numbers you work out for lifeguards and staff
yes.
is a ratio
Yeah,
that we all
and
follow.
it's like one lifeguard per 100 patrons, I believe.
Okay.
It's either 100 or 100 feet.
We're way below that.
Right, right.
So how many on a day like, let's not say July 4th, because July 4th is kind of an aberration,
Right.
but like a hot Sunday, a Sunday day or hot Sunday, how many people you figure are in the park at the same?
Anywhere between 2 and 250 to 300 in that vicinity on those warm, because it's been so warm on the weekends and so forth.
Okay, is that what you're referring to, that that's too many? you
That's
feel?
part
You
of
feel
it.
it's too
I
many?
do feel like, how many would you say of those 250, 300 people do you think are Lakeville residents?
Well, that's a separate issue.
That's a different problem, but it is,
Yeah, it's another whole issue.
but what we did do
Doesn't
is,
matter.
Okay, well, I mean, that's an issue I guess I'm concerned about too, though.
but we do have two separate rates, so there's a Lakeville local rate and there's an out-of-town rate, to encourage local people to go.
And what's the differential on that? It's what, 80 for residents
forget
and
off the top of my
120 for?
130.
This is where Nellie comes in handy.
The reason we,
$50 a pass.
when we opened that park back up several years ago, again, we weren't getting any funding. We had to run it with whatever we could raise.
Yeah,
We would not have been able to run it with just Lakeville residents. There's simply not enough people that come in
Right.
from Lakeville. I don't know what the ratio is now of Lakeville residents versus,
Nellie has some things, but the passes are up this year. We are selling more Lakeville passes than we are out-of-town passes now.
But that doesn't stop any day passes of anybody.
Right.
So if we were to make it a Lakeville-only
Well,
facility.
and that's not what I'm saying right away. I mean, I feel like if I'm a resident, I want to come enjoy it, and then maybe say, okay, residents plus 2 guests or something. You know, I mean, to me, it's an open blanket where, I mean, what if everybody, here's how great this is. I mean, we want it to stay clean. We want it to stay pristine. But it's not going to be that way if 400 and 500 people are showing up because they hear this is the place to go. Do you know?
Yeah, it's all,
We're not
it's
getting
a,
those numbers.
it's a cyclical
We're
argument.
not now, but social media is a different
But I
animal.
think the whole point is it's a circular argument, right? Because we need the people to go to fund it, because let's say we just said, okay, Lakeville plus 2, we're probably gonna shut it down because we can't afford to keep it open. So we need to find some balance, but with that balance is more trash, more out-of-town people. So it's just a hard equation, right? To figure out, we want it to be open, and we need the out-of-town guests, but we have to be managing it as best we can.
And I understand that the park needs funds too, but we also have to remember that it is a small pond. This is not Long Pond. I mean, Long Pond is gigantic. It can handle many more people. Clear Pond is not huge, and I know we want to have plenty of people come in to fund it, but at what cost? At what cost to the environment? What cost to people that aren't from around here that just don't really respect it?
So I do think, like I said before, this is a really good, solid argument for getting tax funds, right? So if tax funds are covering it, you have a lot more flexibility. What we just don't have that luxury today. So
Okay.
totally agree though.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The things we can work on ourselves are the smoking, vaping,
Yes.
and alcohol, trash pickup, recycling. Those things are issues that we can get together and work on improving.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. I mean, I just want it to be a family environment and
Yeah.
and a clean place.
Yeah, we agree. Do you have anything else, Doug, you think?
You mentioned being closed to the high bacteria. Was that part of your?
I did get an email to Nellie, you
Okay,
know.
well, I've heard several people and seen on social media, lots of people referring to out-of-towners.
Well, I don't
Which
want to
is-
put that label on it, and that's why I didn't bring it up. I'm not
Okay.
specifically blaming on out-of-towners for bringing bacteria. All I'm saying is, I believe it's a small pond in relation to other ponds in the area.
Yeah.
All I know is if you put, 10 people in a bathtub, the water's gonna be dirty.
Well, just to let you know, Long Pond has a high bacteria count also.
Actually, they all do.
Yeah, that was where I was
They all
going
do.
with that.
They-
It has more to do with the
The weather.
rain and
It's
the
the
weather.
rain and the weather and the heat.
And the runoff than it does with the amount of people in there. That was where I was going with that.
Okay, that might be the case. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, Long
if you
Pond
have
can't swim
500-600 people, at what
Can't swim
point
long.
does it start to affect the water quality?
I tried to.
Well, we keep going up. I don't think we're 500 or 600 people in there.
No, but he's saying 250, 300.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's, yeah. So
That
maybe we
seems
should
like
have
a lot
discussion.
to me for a small pond.
So one thing we can discuss, probably wouldn't be today, but is some sort of capacity, right? Maybe that's something we want to consider. Looking at the financials, seeing what that means, is there any impact to that, budgeting wise, but that's a fair request.
These are all good items that we
Yeah.
can discuss along with Doug and try to improve on them. Thanks for bringing them up.
All right, thank you.
Cool.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And definitely those, all the selectmen meetings and obviously town hall are open too. So I believe you can go to those.
All right.
Same thing. Cool. Thank you.
You gotta go. Thanks for coming, Doug.
Oh, a quick question.
Yes.
Before you go, the payroll,
Yes.
is this down because we had closures? We must have lost a couple days.
Yes.
I don't have, I'm not comparing it to last week or whatever, but 2 weeks ago. But it's, I know you approve
It was
all this,
closed
but
Tuesday, Wednesday,
what was
Thursday.
the difference, do you know, like ballpark?
In the payroll?
Yeah.
I don't know, because Nellie has all that. I don't
Okay.
even,
I can ask.
don't have figures or anything.
I just wanted to, because it shows hours, which is fine, but it's like, well, it doesn't say dates.
He just sees the individual ones, he doesn't see this total sheet.
Right.
He reviews the individual time reports.
not, the Nelly prepares this.
No, I totally understand.
Yep.
But I'm saying like, whatever, Jenna Maxon, did she work 3 days, and usually does 4 because it was closed? I don't know, whatever, right? So, okay.
This week had the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday closure that we're in.
Yeah.
And I think one other day, it was the week before, there might have been a day that it was raining or closed, yeah.
Okay.
When you go back to that. The other thing is, are we closing the 24th or the 25th? The Saturday or the Sunday?
Well, now we can.
I don't know what you think.
Well, just, we have a group that wants to come in. It's an outing group. It's not a birthday or a family. It's a group outing. And they want to come in on the 24th and bring Harry Lee in to do his DJ for the afternoon. If that's the last day,
It's a tough day.
then we have to we would definitely have to come back on the 25th. We could close the 24th, but come back the 25th to close up and do everything, because we wouldn't be able to do that in just an hour or two
No.
at 5 o'clock.
No,
So,
We have
I think
more,
if it helps them to stay open that Sunday, then.
I mean,
we have more budget
Yeah,
now.
will you be able
Because they're
to
gonna have to come in regardless.
staff it?
so-
Yeah.
That's the question.
yeah, we can
I
staff
mean, if you can staff it.
It'll be just basically a work day.
Yeah,
kind of
no,
thing.
pretty much. I mean, you'll have a couple lifeguards and the
Right.
rest of it will be a work cleaning up.
Yeah.
Which it, kind of is on the
Yeah.
last day.
Yeah.
Getting the raft in, or maybe you get it in before then.
Yeah.
I know it all depends on
comes
the
in that
numbers.
week,
When you get the
'cause of
numbers,
that-
you get the raft in. I know.
Right, the
Yeah.
lifeguards start going, we bring the raft in the last couple, the last 3-4 days.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
So is it posted as, you don't remember what it's posted as? Is it the 24th?
I don't know if we had, the 24th was the end of the pay cycle, but the 25th is the Sunday,
yeah, I don't remember.
If you do that, they're going to pay an extra pay for one day.
They're gonna actually pay for one day.
But we saved 4 days by it.
Oh, I'm not talking, I'm just talking about doing the payroll
Oh,
for
yeah.
one day.
I mean, because he's saying they would still have to come in that Sunday just to clean up probably, so.
Yeah, we
might
wouldn't
as
be
well
able to, if
open.
they-
Does that push it to Monday? Then now we clean it up on
No,
Monday?
no,
too?
what they'll do is on Sunday, he'll have his lifeguards, but they're just closing up the rest of the
Right,
pond.
right.
You know,
raft and everything.
Oh, 'cause it's in it.
Well, the raft will be in the earlier before that, because we do lose some lifeguards.
Okay.
So the raft will come in like Tuesday or Wednesday of that previous week.
right, as
It
soon as you
won't
get the
come right
numbers.
in, we won't bring it, we have to, it's kind of like you have to stem it when you have like 20 people or
Yep.
30 people to be able to lift it up and carry it in. If it's a bad day and you don't have people, then you gotta wait till the next day. So whatever day from that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we get enough people in there to lift that thing out of the water, because it takes
Numbers.
30 people.
Do you should we make a quick vote to extend it?
Or do we want to check with Nelly and see what day we have?
Or just confirm that we can keep it open?
I motion that we keep it open on Sunday, the 25th,
For a closure day.
for final day, and they'll close it that day.
Second.
Cool.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Cool, unanimous.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Right?
All right.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Doug, thanks for coming.
Thank you, guys.
One second.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Lally, you're up.
Hello, everybody. For the record, for the new members, my name is Kenny Lally, and I'm here today for my CMRI baseball program. And every year we rent the fields here, and it works out great. Thank you very much. So I'm putting a request in for fall ball. I'd like to request the use of Field 4 for the month of September and October on Saturdays. I have a check, my insurance, and my schedule with me. Just looking for approval so I can turn my schedule into the league.
What's the window? Like Saturday, like 8X to Y? For the
Saturday,
calendar?
10 o'clock and 1 o'clock.
And you tell me,
Double
is it 10 to 1?
No,
Well,
no.
no, a 10 o'clock game and a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Because you gotta figure in the beginning, yeah, no problem starting off early, but then as you get later
Yes.
into September, it's, 10 o'clock is a
Yes.
hopeful start sometimes.
Yeah, Field 4, Saturdays, 10 to 1.
No, 10 and 1.
Right.
So 10 to 4.
Yeah, sorry,
And-
2 games, doubleheader, got it.
Also along with this, if no one was using the field on Wednesday evenings, until dusk, because I know that everything's going on with Triple E and everything like that, we'd like to have a few practices.
Yeah, as long as the park's open, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well,
It's currently not. but-
we usually get to like 7 o'clock at the beginning of September. By the end of September, it's like 6:15, and then it just kind of fizzle out halfway through October. You can't even use it because it's too dark, because
What do they do for AAA? Did they reopen? When was it
No.
last year when there was a warning, did they ever lift it?
We've never really practiced into the dusk anyways. You know, dusk comes, we all scatter anyways, because we're.
Right.
And they have no lights out there,
It was
so,
just a warning last year. This year,
Yeah.
the town hall closed it.
No,
at dusk.
I know it's a whole different discussion, but, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen on Wednesdays, it doesn't happen. I understand the whole situation there, but it's mostly Saturdays is what I'm looking for.
We can
Okay.
just check the,
I-
double check,
What's the
Babe
conflict
Ruth,
though?
Babe Ruth fall ball.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. I just
Usually
don't think
Babe
it's a
Ruth
problem.
goes over to Freetown.
I know they usually do, I just want to double check, you know, so that we're not, you're down here and someone else shows up.
Yeah.
What were the dates again?
Yeah.
Sorry, Saturday, September and October?
Yes, it's 8 weeks.
So like, first, whatever that first week
It's the
is,
7th of, yeah,
all the way to Halloween?
all the way to, yeah.
Alright, okay.
I have all the dates right here, the schedule.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, that's good. I'll just double check, but other than that, that won't be any conflicts.
Shouldn't be a problem.
This is for Nelly. I gotta go to town hall anyway.
can I say something?
Please.
Kenny, I would like to, on the record, apologize to you for the beating you took on the field schedules this spring.
It's all
That
good.
wasn't
because-
right.
No,
No, but some years you get more time than you anticipate, other years you don't, but it all worked out pretty good. I'm back and I'm requesting
Yeah,
more
yeah,
time.
I know, but
Yeah.
it wasn't fair, because other teams got a lot more than you did. And unbeknownst to us,
I
until the crap hit the,
It's all,
Good.
it's all, it's all good. We're all happy, no complaints.
and, you know, Justin tried to remedy it as best
Well,
he could.
did.
Well, you got to end up
He gave
in
me a
extra
couple of
practice
practice
time,
times, which was
Yeah.
awesome, and
Yeah.
everything's good.
It worked.
And he pointed out a couple more conflicts that we didn't even anticipate, so we were able to iron it out before
Good.
two teams got to the field at the same time.
Yeah, next year we'll have,
That's
so,
great.
the one thing that I didn't do that well this year was Linda didn't have like so I would just text her at whatever Friday night.
Yeah.
But I wanna have a schedule, so she's like, okay, you know, Samurai's gonna be here at 9 AM for a game, I'll make field 4 ready.
Yeah, awesome, that's why I gave you that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pass that along, and everybody knows.
Perfect.
I would really also let you know that we are going to be starting work on that field.
Oh, great.
You know, how the base paths are.
Yes, yes.
So we're going to peel that back,
That's good.
level it out, and roll it back over again.
Is that gonna- is
Yeah,
that-
we were going to do it.
Hopefully should be able to get it done during the week.
Yeah, it was, he said he could do it in a, wait, we have that new guy, Joe, I don't know if you think you know Joe,
No,
but
I don't know.
he's got a lot of experience with golf courses and stuff, so
Great.
between he and Mike Vickery, they feel they can do that in 2 days.
They're doing that like now, right?
Do they start already?
There's no conflicts.
This is like a developmental thing, we're trying to teach your kids something, so even if the field's under construction and it's playable, it's all.
Okay, cool.
All right, just want to let you know that we're
What
going to
age
be
group?
doing it.
Yep.
What age group?
What age group?
Oh, 12.
12's,
Nice.
starting over again.
Well, 12's playing the big field now, everything's changing now, you know? We used to-
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's 60, 90, so.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll confirm, but I mean, I can't think of any conflicts, so I'll just double check.
Ray's got my number.
I was just gonna say, we get your number here, so,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
great.
Awesome.
Great, we'll let you know as soon as we can.
All right, thank you for your time.
Cool,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Ed.
Have a great night.
You too.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Should I just leave this on Nellie's desk?
Huh?
Just leave this on Nellie's desk? Seems like not a great idea.
Well, we can put it in with the paid bills, so she can see it.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay. Sarah, not Sarah. Sarah's not here.
Sarah I offered to come, and she sent me an email saying she had been in touch with Freetown Lakeville Soccer Club, and they said that they were going to use her to do, to help train because when I spoke to her, she wasn't working for them.
Right, but she's still doing out of town.
Right, and I'm just telling you what
Yep,
the
yep.
conversation was. And today, I spoke to, I got an email back, response back from Derek, and he said, yes, she's going to be training some teams for us. I said, well, so I kind of had a feeling she wasn't going to show up to the meeting.
Yep.
So, and the other people that have been running out there, Scott, that we've noticed,
Yep.
he said that is their Freetown Lakeville soccer coaches.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Now, I also.
What's the request for, by the way?
What?
What's the request?
Well, no,
Well,
this-
she was running a business.
she's been running a business out there.
The
You're
same
training
as
kids.
the
The
Sox
soccer.
right now?
Like beef
Yeah,
families.
Yeah.
but even more. She'd be there at 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I think, I still think we need to get her in here
yep,
to clarify that.
Yeah.
But,
Well, it's the
I
same
think that's
discussion.
why she didn't come.
Same discussion as,
Yes, BFIT. Yep,
BFIT.
yep.
Okay.
I mean, because we just gotta make sure she has insurance
Yeah,
and the whole thing.
pass it over to me.
I mean,
Offload it.
we've gotta
Yes.
protect the town's interests, that's all.
I just don't have
That's
it.
one of the things I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
It's really a schedule
Just,
thing.
yeah, just send it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll have the same exact discussion.
okay.
Okay, we're moving ahead to Lakeville Agricultural Commission, which I believe is you guys. And we have Dave Thomas,
That's correct.
and
Cindy Barber.
Cindy Barber. Okay. Okay, so you are here to talk about farmer's market?
That's correct. Need space.
Okay,
What kind of space do you need? Like, what are the parking, like, requirements?
Yeah, it's, actually, I'm gonna let Cindy talk on this because she's taking the project over for the Ag Commission. But basically, we're looking to establish a farmer's market for next year.
mm-hmm,
And we're trying to think of what locations that would be good for the farmer's market. One of the locations was over at the old town hall. That would also probably require a different dairy park right next to it. And then the other location that we're thinking about was here at Ted Williams. And we want to approach you on the idea of it and if it's feasible, as far as space and what your thoughts were on it.
right, because that's one of the other parks that we're in charge of.
That's great.
That one always slips my mind.
So what are the, like, the dates, the times of day, like anticipated people?
2020?
2020,
I'm sorry.
No, no.
I was gonna say, we haven't established what day and what time
okay.
yet. This is for next year, next
For
year's start.
2020, okay.
That's correct, and we're trying to figure out what days would be best, what would work best for, if, we're, you know, working with you, what days would be best for here, if it's allowed, or over at different dairy. So it's in the planning stages, so we're basically trying to get all the ducks in a row.
Sure.
On planning, so.
Sure. Over there would give you more visibility,
Right.
as opposed to here, but if we do something here, you're gonna have more space. You're gonna have better parking, you know, so I mean, those are kind of the things you gotta
Exactly.
kind of figure out.
Have you guys have any preferred area that, just looking around the park that looks good? Like, I don't know what a farmer's market needs, you know?
We're anticipating when the market starts that maybe we're hoping for maybe 10 to 12 vendors, maybe. And they probably each need about 15 feet square.
Yeah.
15 foot square space. When I come in, a spot that I look at is straight across the drive here. I don't even know if that's accessible in that yard field.
Oh, it's-
space.
Out by the street.
Right, yeah, right across the
Yep,
driveway.
yep.
We're in-
No,
oh,
yeah.
this way. It's
Yeah, I
this
mean, we
way.
don't currently use it for anything at the moment.
Yeah.
Where we, I'm
So-
sorry, I'm not getting what we're talking
Out by
about.
the sign,
Um,
where the house was.
No, no.
Out by the
no,
street?
No.
No, it's right here.
actually, Right across the driveway here, I was turned around.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, this
You're
open
talking coming off of
space by
Bedford
the-
Street?
Space-
By the flagpole here.
Yes.
Oh, right out
By
here.
the flagpole.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And a
That would be
question
a good
I had about that as well, thinking, because it's reasonably flat, which is convenient for people, they don't have to set up, you know, those little
Mhm.
tent things, and, are the toilets functional?
Yep.
Yes.
And would that be something we could access?
Yes.
And do they have running water, like sinks, hand washing sinks inside?
There are sinks inside.
Well, this is sounding pretty good.
Because Dicker
Such a
doesn't have
low bar.
anything. Yeah,
Exactly.
they don't have anything.
What's my other question about that? So, we're a town commission, but does the park commission need a fee from other town groups?
Technically,
Case-by-case
yes.
Basis, yeah.
But we try to work with all the town groups. I mean, for your situation, it's not like we're losing something. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you coming into the hall and getting the hall for nothing and we could have rented it out and we lose
Right.
$1,500. See what I'm saying? I mean, there's different scenarios that we can work with. Historically, what we do is we voted a few years ago because everybody and their brother would come in and say, we're a 501c3, can you give it to us for nothing? And I mean, there's costs, like, and I'm just using the building for example. There's electricity, there's heat. We pay a cleaning company to come in and clean after every event. So what we have done in the past is based on what the board feels, is we would donate back to the group, to help offset any fees or at least reduce them. Something like this, we'd have to work with our management company because there's weddings during the day,
Is it weekends or is it?
yeah, that's
It's something we haven't established entirely.
Okay.
yeah,
Usually weekdays are pretty good, weekends are tougher.
right.
Because of weddings.
That's where I was. That's where I was-
Weddings, functions,
Because of a lot of
because it's
Right.
right here, right? So you
Right.
think about the traffic and it just
Yeah.
becomes
Right.
logistically complicated.
Right, and nobody wants that in front of their wedding picture.
Not necessarily.
Thank you for understanding.
And we're just, and so that's what we're trying to bring that up and let you understand, like a Friday would be, is a much better day, or a Thursday, a day during the week is very
And-
feasible.
And it may be that if it is a weekend, it might be a morning sort of a thing, and if it,
Yeah.
That's a much better scenario.
arbitrarily Friday in my mind, like late afternoon to the beginning, so maybe
Yep.
till 6, 7 in the evening, that kind of thing, so, but we don't know that yet.
Yeah, I think logistically, it's pretty straightforward. But what ends up happening is when you get closer to a date, you say, okay, we're looking at September 24th, right? Whatever, 2020. Then we look at the calendar and see what's booked. But what's nice is most of these weddings are booked a couple of years out. So you have a pretty good idea of what's open.
So you'd be looking like a weekly thing, right, for a month or 2 months or?
Probably weekly. It's been suggested to us by people with experience that we should do it every week, and probably for a full season. So once we would begin in probably late spring.
Yeah, late spring to, what do you think, mid-fall?
Yeah,
Okay.
Halloween here, time,
Yeah.
yeah.
pumpkins and stuff like that.
And it maybe may depend on the weather on a given year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have for example, then there's a business group that uses this facility at 6 a.m. or something. So we just found a way for them to
7
do
to
it.
9.
Yeah, they just
7 to
found a way
9
to
in
do
the
it during the
morning.
week and there's no conflict and it's happy. So there's always a way to do it. We just, we need to kind of
As
line
long
it
as you're a
up.
little flexible with us, we could find a way, because I think it'd be a great thing to do. And I think most of the members here would agree, We like seeing things like this come into the park, This is what we're here for.
Now, a thought I have about this park in particular is, as you were mentioning, not going to be visible from the street.
Right.
Would we be allowed to put temporary signs sort of on the day out on Route 18 by a big sign that's out there?
Right. We can
Put it on the sign.
we can put something on our sign as well that would stay up, and then the day of the event, yes, you could put a temporary sign up that you put up in the morning and take down at night. It's just something that can't stay up.
Okay, right.
There's a
We're not
precedent
allowed to
never
have
to do
dual
that.
signs, but for a day thing, it wouldn't be a problem. That's done all the time.
Yeah, it would just be for the open hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but we can help and put it on our marquee, It may not be up the whole season, but, it may be up, it may be down, it may be up, because as we have things here, like for the wedding, sometimes we'll put the names of the people getting married, or if there's an event going on, we had to close the park at night, so we've had to put that on our marquee, things like that. But, we could definitely help at times. It may not be up there all year, or the whole season, but, especially in the beginning.
We have 2 spots now.
Right, and we have 2 spots, so that helps. So we actually have 4 signs. We have 2 sides.
Yeah.
Another question about insurance as well.
Yep.
As a commission, do we need to have some sort of coverage? What do you require for?
Yep, it is a good question. We do, huh?
I don't know.
I don't know, because you fall under the town. Do you fall under the town?
Right.
You're probably covered by the town.
If you fall under the town, you're probably covered by the town.
For Winterfest.
Like the gentleman who was just here with baseball, he handed us, a binder that names the town as an insured. Where you're a town, I think we just have to investigate that to make sure that you're insured by the town.
Okay.
Then that
Would
wouldn't,
they need insurance for Winterfest? No, right?
no, because that was a town,
It's a town thing.
that was a town, yeah.
Okay.
So if you could investigate that. If you don't, then we just need a binder that would name the town
Right.
as an insured. So, yeah, you'd have to get some type of a,
Yeah, we'll talk to the powers that be.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
The only other thing too, just off, before I forget, is we used to have a tent. We do not have a tent anymore, so if it rains,
Right.
there's limitations there. What's that?
They usually bring
Bring
their
their
own.
own tents.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Yes,
fine.
that we would anticipate that
Yep,
everybody would
perfect.
have their own
Yep.
shelter.
Yeah, perfect. It's good to give you a heads up.
If we should end up at Dicker and Dyer instead.
Yeah.
I know it's probably a smaller space, but it is near the street, so depending on what
Mhm.
people think.
No, I know, and that's what I was saying, it gives you more
What was-
visibility.
Where was the place you're talking about?
Old
Dicker
Town
and
Hall.
Dyer,
Yeah, the
little
church.
little
Yeah,
park
the
in
church.
front of the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is it. Is it legal to park on that little lane in front of the church?
So what is
I
our-
think that the church is always looking for community stuff to be involved in. So I'm sure that we could approach them, and
Right.
that would work too.
And that's my thought as well, that we would need toilet facilities and probably parking. I just had sort of an arbitrary question. It's like, well, I'm here, I'll just excavate that spot.
But that lane
our-
though, isn't that actually a street?
Is it part of
It was.
It is technically a street,
Yeah.
yes,
Right.
it is, yeah.
When you're down in the park, you can actually see the old road layout.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
there's
can.
not a ton of parking down there.
But it's.
No, that's the
but they do
downside,
get-
there's not a lot of parking there.
No,
Don't you do
there
that-
isn't.
don't they do the art festival
We
there?
would need permission from the church.
When they do the art festival, they do have permission from the church to park there for that festival.
And there's probably details
There's
too, right?
police details there.
Right.
They also park at Assawamsett
Right,
School.
they're going back and forth across the street like
Right.
No,
crazy.
exactly,
too.
yeah.
If you kept it all on one side of the street, you wouldn't need a police detail.
No,
If you we'd have to talk to the church though.
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand through the Arts Festival folks that the crossing from the church to Dicker and Dyer would not require a police detail.
right,
It's just getting people across Pearson Street.
Yep.
right, if you started parking across the
And
street,
Across 18 and that sort of thing.
yeah.
So, because we are not commissioned in the budget at all, so.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
welcome to the club.
So,
Yeah.
that kind of puts the police out of touch.
Thank you for your service.
I don't know if I had any more questions than that.
I think it's good to know that you're doing this, so we can keep an eye out for like permanent spots. Like it's something that's not double used and we can get some
Yeah.
use out of it, and it's a permanent thing, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, I personally, I think it's a great thing that you guys want to do it. And, out there's more visible, yes, but you get some logistical issues. Whereas you come here, not only do we have these two toilets, but on the other side of the maintenance building there's a full bathroom,
Oh, in the end, it's, okay.
right on the end.
Excellent.
So I mean, if it was something that we, kind of pushed you, and I mean, I'm just suggesting this was a little further down, and you put up a little sign that says bathrooms that way, that's a much nicer bathroom, and that one will definitely be open. I mean, this one will be open too, but it's just a little one stall on each side, with a little sink.
I think definitely in the beginning, the town is gonna be so popular with the town,
Yep.
they need all this parking lot.
Yep.
Maybe as time goes on, maybe you don't need as much parking, but I think definitely in the beginning, you're gonna need it all.
Well, this place is a big draw for families anyways.
Yep. And there's a lot going on here in the spring. We have a lot going on in the spring with, and I'm just saying soccer and baseball, volleyball, horseshoes, and then in the fall, it gets very busy, starting September 1st with all the soccer and the fall ball, like he was in here, and then football. Saturdays and Sundays are very busy here. But during the week, they're practicing, so there's people here, in and out, and it's a good thing to see that. If you do it, if you
A
do,
lot of families coming and going.
yeah,
Yeah, and they see it,
Wait,
it is
business.
visibility, yeah.
Good for business, right?
yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah.
No, I think we covered it.
So if you can just
You
keep,
want to know from
keep us in the loop as to
No,
where you're
when it
going with it,
starts.
maybe pop in a, later in the year and just kind of where you're headed, what you're thinking, just to give us an idea so that, we can try to plan or, maybe we come up with a better, I'm just saying, maybe we come up with some magical spot. I don't know, or some idea,
And anything away from this building is gonna be better, because you don't have wedding conflicts.
Right.
Because you could say, I wanna do Friday from X to Y, and Saturdays, which wouldn't be a conflict, but then they're setting up, and it just,
Right.
it becomes, and then we can say, there's 12 weddings in that month, and it's gonna
Right.
be messy.
So it could be tough right over here, but if we were down there a little bit more,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a conflict.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and in mentioning that, I didn't mean immediately by the drive.
Yeah, no, I know, you're talking in this area,
General feel.
which gives you 2 parking lots.
Yeah.
There's the parking lot right there, and then the one over in front of the maintenance
You
building.
can walk through the playground.
Yep, we got that one over there too. I mean, it does give you, it's a good spot. Out here is a good spot.
yep.
Yeah.
Everyone drives by.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we would be in touch when we have.
More information.
yeah. If it, a few months down the road, 4 or 6 months, so when you're kind of formulating and working things out, somebody wants to stop in and give us some more information, that'd be great. We'd love to,
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
We will.
then,
Awesome.
then we can move forward with it.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
think maybe by October, because, you're talking in April, maybe starting this, correct? You said?
Right.
April, so
Yeah.
you really want to know.
Yeah,
maybe
you're right.
October this year,
Yeah,
not that far away, really.
yeah, a couple of months, right? You're right, Joe. Yeah, a couple of months. As you move forward with it.
It's already August.
I know. Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
all right.
Oh, wait, this is on me. Horseshoe request. Where's mine?
Justin has a request from the Horseshoe.
They have a request for a tournament, but Nellie did all this through email, and I don't have it on.
Okay.
So I think I just said, there was a bunch of back and forth, so basically what happened was,
Right, they didn't pay the last one.
exactly, so Nellie said they want a request, you approve it, and I said, have they paid? No, they haven't come in. That was the whole discussion.
Right,
So, I don't think we should approve anything until we
Nope.
get them to sit down.
I agree.
Gene, guy or girl, we'll figure it out, so,
I'd make
That
a
was-
motion, we table that?
yeah, until they come in.
All those,
sure.
all those in favor of tabling?
Quite over to you.
Thank you.
If they come in later, they'll be part.
If they come in later, we can take care of it tonight.
Yep,
Yep.
makes sense.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, so we've got bills to approve.
Oh, yeah.
See a reimbursement for me, that's the 8-foot Costco tables and the
Amazon.
shop manual for Mike. Just
Say
wanted to
again?
bring it in and show you what you,
What's he buying?
oh, hey,
Where do I sign?
on this you sign down the bottom. Signature,
Oh.
signature, signature, and the invoices are behind it, but I do lose $12.73 in sales tax, so I just want you to know that.
I hear you. So just real quick, back to some.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Walt.
People here
Go,
this
sure.
morning. I mean, we talked about and I'll pick on the Clay Pond piece. I mean, you brought up a couple items. I mean, do we want to, I know you talked about the capacity analysis. Is that something we want to look at doing based on data this year and getting information for next year?
We
I
can.
think we need Doug for sure.
We didn't really go address that. I didn't know if that's something we want to take away.
Well, no,
We look at
yeah,
that. I thought we had the numbers. I thought Doug had, he said, like 100 people here, 250 people said there. I thought he knew how many you can have in the park. Don't they do a click
They
and
do.
Well, they have a,
people in?
they have a book that they record everybody that comes in.
So we must have data.
The honest answer is we want as many people as we can get, because we need the money.
Right.
That's what keeps it open.
But I thought we had the
But
information.
it gets to a
I
point
thought
where
he
it does
knew
get
all that.
crowded.
No, I
But it
think
is
that
possible.
was a really good point.
No, I know.
We do have a cap.
Yeah.
We do have a physical cap.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something we should look at, and maybe we can talk to Doug and go over this year's books and, see what days were really crowded and,
Yep.
again, when the parking lot's full, I don't think we should be shuttling people in. If the parking lot's full, then we're done. That's
Yeah.
my view.
And the other, economical answer is you raise rates.
Right, if you don't,
Well, that doesn't keep, you think by raising the price, you have less people come?
It's fine to me, yeah.
I said, just because it's
No, I-
really that crowded. I mean, it's.
I'm not
it's
saying
like
to
the
do that.
numbers, I guess.
Yeah,
That's my
and I
point.
think it was a
It's a way to
3
make the
days.
same money with less
Yeah,
people.
and that happens. I mean, sometimes you'll get a party from at the other end of the park, you see them, they bust them in, whatever. It looks crowded, but maybe it's not that bad on the water edge, I don't know.
Maybe only raise rate on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
No, I mean, these are all,
I'd start maybe getting the data if we can.
Right.
How many people have been there
Right.
historically and go from there. And maybe see if there is a limit, how many people per lifeguard. He said he had that, so let's just see what that is. And
Well, I remember
How full is full?
we discussed the capacity compared to how many lifeguards there were
Right.
for parties. because we had to
Right.
figure out
Right.
what we were.
Extra lifeguards when we had more
Yeah.
people coming in.
Yeah, when you
Above
got to
and
a certain
beyond the
number,
normal.
you needed another lifeguard.
Yep. Yep, no, I mean, good points.
It just didn't present well, we didn't, we
Yeah.
said, and I think we had the information, we didn't answer it very well. Because he sort of does, he told us, if there's 150 people, I get this many lifeguards or whatever, so we sort of have it, we didn't really
Well, I mean,
get that impression that we had that.
if we knew these were the items he was gonna come in with, we could have maybe had that data. I mean, we thought he was coming in for something else.
Right.
So,
But it is, it's good to think about, and
Yeah, they are
honestly,
good
my
points.
goal would be to break even. If you can break even, that's
absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely, and we're close.
Can I
And
make
the
that?
trash thing, that's good.
If I can?
No, I won't reveal this.
And we're close.
In the bill?
I'll do it in pink.
In the bill?
I have one question on the
I
bill.
go in there and I didn't look at the trash can.
Yes.
I mean, kids are.
Those are all-
They're cleaning up, so I mean, when they're full, they
Yeah.
empty, so I mean, if you look at them when they're full.
Quick, total separate topic.
Yep,
This is the cleaning we did for here.
yep. Is this
New
the-
company?
Yep,
How did it go?
I don't know.
Did we hear from SEM that it was good, bad, different?
I guess we'd have to check with them.
Was that the
They're
deep
satisfied.
cleaning?
The deep, looks like the deep, it's $800, so I'm guessing it's a deep thing.
That was the bid, yep.
Yeah.
So I just was curious how it
But
went.
we'll have to ask SEM.
It's not a big deal, but.
No, no, I mean, it is,
Because
because,
we made a decision to switch
and, you know,
right?
That's actually less than their quote was $850, I believe.
It's awesome.
was it?
Can't go wrong with that.
I moved over here because I can
Yeah,
hear you
yeah,
guys
That's
better.
okay.
We did that one, didn't we change the setup?
I like that when we did that
Yeah, we can do that.
round table type thing.
Yeah,
We can.
That was Lake Cam's idea.
that's right.
If people could see what we just spent just on like toilet paper
Yeah.
and paper and
That's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Testing the water.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
That's okay.
It's all right. We're just signing some bills here and then we'll get right to you, okay?
He had mentioned in Clear Pond Park, the smoking area. Now, I thought smoking areas were only allowed if it's a private club. Is this considered that kind of private?
We have a policy on smoking there.
It's an outdoor place and we have a place that's way over near the road.
Justin.
What if
I mean,
somebody
they
smoked?
used to take cans and smoke right on the beach.
What if, well, think
But all
about,
the
it's gotta
smoking
be,
laws changed like 10
Yeah.
years ago.
yeah, you can't smoke on the beach.
Well, I'll tell you that we do have a designated smoking area over there.
I think it's.
People don't obey it, especially with the vaping and all that stuff. Because I remember when I was doing it, the kids were picking up cigarette butts
Yeah.
in the woods and then on the beach and everything else. That could reduce the amount of people that come too, just no smoking whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a town property.
We can ask Doug, but I think
We-
we can do whatever we want, right?
Yeah.
We can say no smoking here.
But let's see if there's an issue, there's a
Right.
spot, I mean, just because you see it doesn't mean it's bad either.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And he mentioned alcohol. Is alcohol even allowed there?
It's the only place.
It is, it's the only place in
There's no
town.
glass. He said there's glass.
It shouldn't be any glass. It
He said
shouldn't be.
glass is trash. I mean,
We can lock down some of the policies, though.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, those are all things we can work on.
Yep. Well, so while you're signing those bills, we're gonna move on to Miss Ellen here. How are you today?
Pretty good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good, good. So you're coming, so you're booked, you've got the date booked on the 14th of September.
14th, yeah. So basically the same,
Right, really, we don't have the tent.
right.
They
So
told you
we'll
that.
have to bring in, I can rent a tent.
Absolutely,
Someone else
absolutely.
Brought in and set up. Could you tell me about what the dimensions are on the tent?
The one we had was called a 40 by 60, it wasn't 40 by 60.
30 by 60.
30 by
It was
60?
30 by 60.
All right, excuse
30
me.
by 60?
So it was called a 30 by 60, but it was like 28 by 58, you know what I mean? But that's what they call it,
Okay.
30 by 60.
30 by 60. Because I have somebody who I can get that from, I just.
Great.
had
Yeah.
to-
Yep, that's what we had. So I mean, if you can get a 40 by 60, or, I mean, you know, it can be, you know, and we can put it a little closer,
That's
you know,
what I
that's what I
was
was
gonna
gonna
ask
say.
you, before it was,
Yeah, it was more this way.
Yeah, more
Yep.
this way, if
You
you could move it
You
closer.
can
Yeah,
put it
great.
further down.
And it was fine, it was just, I didn't know.
Yep.
No, you can
Just,
put it wherever you
the
want.
only,
Everybody wound up congregating over by the courts and watching the games the whole time, I didn't know.
yeah, there, just to let you know, I don't know when, if, or even if it's gonna happen, but hopefully this fall, the drainage is gonna be done on that parking lot there. But it's something that will be done during the week and should be completed. But then they'll put a swale right off the parking lot this side, so we intend to come a little further this way. Just to let you know, there may be some, it won't be exactly, it might be just the way it is now, or it might not.
Did you say that you were gonna try to get a big tent, like a 40 by 60? Or are you gonna do smaller tents?
I was gonna do the big tent, I was gonna do similar to what we had last year. 'cause that
Okay,
seems to
well, the
work.
reason I ask is because we did research on replacing the one we had. And we also, part of that research was to find people that rent them. Nobody rents them that big anymore.
So you have some.
Can't,
Yeah.
you have someone that'll do it that big?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And they're not from around here? Okay.
Halifax.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Yeah,
Maybe we should get that name,
yeah,
because we were
I
looking.
think it's country rentals. I think it's
Country.
country.
the name of it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you need any, what other information you might need. I have it set up with Lorenzo's, again, to do the,
Yeah.
like that
Yep.
piece of it set up. I put the deposit down.
Okay. great.
Same thing, do the games,
Yeah.
dinner raffles.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
no-
second year's usually a lot easier than the first, so.
Yeah, well, last year went great, so.
Good.
Yeah, it was, everybody raved about the place and how well everything went.
yeah, so the 14th, so we just gotta keep that date and we'll put up a little poster up there that, so what time?
12 o'clock, well, I have them start showing up at 11:30, the players, just so we can get it
Okay.
pretty situated.
So
And
we'll,
then start playing about noon time.
okay,
And then last year, around 3 o'clock, we did the dinner and raffles.
so like 11 to 3, if we put up a poster that says, you know, the courts will be closed from 11 to 3, that gives someone plenty of leeway to finish their game at 11 and be out of your way. That's all, I just wanna let people know that the court is reserved that day,
Okay,
you know, for that time
And
frame.
do you have a rain date too?
no.
No, it's not gonna rain.
It's not-
September 14th. I don't know, just, that'd be a good idea.
We'll make the best of it.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's anything else that we need to.
You've talked with SEM, the management company, the girls? Okay, so you've talked with them and done what they've asked, and, you know, as far as we're concerned, that's great. Yep, and we appreciate you coming in.
Is there if there's anything else that I need to do? Just-
I don't think so.
I know I was able to put like you put a, sign out by the road.
That day.
To kind of,
Yep, and we'll try to put something out there, you know, like we were saying, you weren't here when the other people were here, but, you know, we'll try to put something up on our signs in advance, to let people know that you're here that day, so, I mean, you might get somebody walk in.
We have a new sign, so we have 4 spots now.
nice.
You know, so we'll put something up
Do
too.
you happen to know if there's, like football games or anything going on that same day too?
There'll be no games
No
here.
games that day?
Saturday,
Soccer,
Saturday the 14th, there will be soccer.
Okay. I can't
which is
remember
a lot
last
of
year.
cars.
And it's
Yeah.
on that side.
Yep, and they're parked on that side, so you may end up parking over here.
Over here,
Yep.
So it depends what the lot looks like too.
that's gonna be, that's like the second week of soccer, so
Okay.
you got fall recreational soccer, so there's a bunch of.
Soccer
little bit
was
soccer.
going on last
Yeah,
year.
if you did it on
Yeah,
Saturday, it
would've
was.
been,
Yep, yep,
Okay, and I think there's a wedding going on
wedding too. Busy day.
there too. Yeah,
But, and that's why we can do that, because you're over there,
yeah.
soccer's way over there, and the wedding's over here, you know?
Are there any restrictions on parking then? I mean, you can't park over here then, right? Can they?
Well,
Be a wedding.
there's just, I mean, they could park in the other parking lot over there, you know, they wouldn't be able to park here next to the building,
Okay.
you know, so you could
I
park.
think everybody.
You should be able to get
stayed over
everybody in
this
here.
side Last year,
Yep,
from what I remember.
yeah.
So I think we should be okay. All right, if there's anything.
Just one question, do we have identified, like, this wedding, do they get priority over there at the park, or do we have plenty of signs up saying wedding parking only? Anything? I just asked, I know we do that.
When I was emailing with Laurie, I had asked if there were any other events going on that day, because I was concerned about the parking, and she said it shouldn't be an issue.
The wedding's probably
The
later.
wedding would be over here.
Right, but there's the wedding, but then there's the soccer, so it's gonna
Right.
squeeze you as far as
Yeah.
parking, you know? And that's why there's the lot right here that's tarred next to the building here is dedicated for the building. And then there's another parking lot right behind it, which is near the tennis court,
Yeah.
which is a big parking lot. And then right adjacent to that is another big parking lot, which would be fine for, you know,
Okay.
to park there or to park over
When
here.
it gets closer to the
Yeah,
cutoff,
yeah.
we'll check in with Laurie and make sure people know
Yeah.
which spots they can use.
Yeah, and we can try and set up some signs and, you know, just to help people.
Okay.
All right, great.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
All right, thank you. Glad it went so well last year, and hopefully it goes,
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you.
You know what, that actually might be a good idea to put, totally separate idea, to put the farmer's market in that parking lot, the only way that like Nature's Classroom does that whole thing. Self-contain it in that parking lot. You can park in and out, you're just going around the circle. It's not great, but.
We can get there. This is Sarah.
Yep.
Phone line.
Hi, Sarah, how are you?
I'm good.
Sure, come on up front. Good, good.
Thanks for coming in, Sarah.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, well, we spoke out of the field about you using the field for your training business. Then I requested that you would come in, and you did, thank you.
Thank
You would
you.
send me an email saying that you had spoken with Freetown Lakeville Soccer. And can you tell us what's going on there?
Sure. So I work for the New England Revolution, and they do clinics here through like the actual academy program. This is something that I do kind of on the side, just in the summer, not really like during the fall. I'm a teacher as well, so I'm really busy during the school year. So it's really just like my side gig during the summer. So I've got a lot of players that I've been training for 6 or 7 years now. I've seen them since they were 7, 8 years old. Now they're winning, Massachusetts Tournament of Champions, like leading for the Freetown Lakeville Soccer. And so I was training with that player that I was just talking about, and Val Texera, who's on the board of directors for the soccer league here, noticed that and he's like, "Oh, you're working with one of our best players in that age group." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I've been coaching for 6 years." He goes, "Did you coach more of our girls?" So kind of like spun off from that, and now he's got like 4 groups of girls that want to train with me. It is private, but I guess the board of directors, they want me to come to a meeting and then kind of like make it like officially through the Freetown Lakeville soccer program so that they can actually set up like clinic times and stuff like that. So I haven't gone to that meeting yet, but Chris Borge, who's also on the board, his daughters were in that little group that I did last week, and now like 3/4 of the people that I coach are going to be from Freetown Lakeville actually. I do coach other kids that are not from the town, and I understand if that's an issue, I can go to their towns and train them there if that's why we're here.
Well,
or something.
the issue was, and it has been for years past, which you're totally unaware of. We've had people come in doing similar things in like running a business on the parks, property. And if you were here a little earlier, you would have seen like we just got a check on an application and insurance information from a fellow who's running a fall baseball camp, baseball team, right? So he paid like anyone else, like Freetown Lakeville Soccer Club, they pay for the use of the fields, So that was my question to you, whether it was part of Freetown Lakeville Soccer Club or if you were running your own business, Now, I think you mentioned to me that you were doing it in Taunton, and Taunton kind of gave you the same thing, right?
No, they, so last year I spoke with their president and they were okay with it as long as like I worked out a deal where like I ran a clinic for them in the fall.
Yeah.
And they were okay with me using it in the summer.
Mm.
And then this summer I went back because they had no problem with it last year and I had no idea that their president was brand new, like the president left and he came up to me and was
Not very nice.
less than polite. So this was in front of a kid too, which was not great. So we left there and I was like,
So,
trying to think
Well, I
of
hope
places
when
in the
I-
area.
Yeah, we'll be
I hope
a lot
I
nicer.
wasn't impolite when I approached you.
Oh, this was much different interaction than what it was like at, unfortunately, down the road, which,
So there's a couple things to kind of like understand the way this works, and it really helps us figure out how to get this figured out.
Uh-huh.
The first is that it's an enterprise fund, so like we don't get any tax dollars for this area. So whether you're from Freetown, Lakeville, Taunton, doesn't matter. So all the money is generated to run all the parks is through fees, like soccer, Freetown, Lakeville has a per head that they pay for their kids to play, right? That's like issue one. So just the money generated to be able to do that. Number two is the insurance of it, right? If a kid gets hurt on town property, then the town is liable. So we usually have insurance binders for that stuff, which is pretty straightforward. You have to have like your own as a separate entity, business.
I do, and I was going to bring it, but
No, it's okay. No. I'm just explaining all the pieces.
yeah, no, but just bringing it
just
would be
understand the
fine.
pieces.
But what you have to do is you have to go to the insurance company and have them do a
oh no,
binder.
I have so I'm with United Soccer.
Yeah.
They are a company where you can purchase a membership and then you can take their classes at discounted rates. But they also offer, when you are a member, like it's either 1 million or it's 100. I know that's a big difference, but it's some sort of insurance. Like, and I've only had to use it once in the 9 years that I've been coaching, and it was for myself, not a kid.
So there's two things. So I run the girls lacrosse program, right? I probably not the same kid you're coaching, but aside from that, so we do the same thing, US Lacrosse, we pay into that and we get umbrella insurance, which covers the kid for pretty much anywhere you play. But the town specifically needs an insurance binder. Every single town,
It doesn't cost you anything.
it doesn't cost you anything.
You
You just have
already
to,
have the
name the
insurance.
town as the insurer, and then it, flips over.
Called
to that.
additional insured. And you put.
So we can help you walk through that.
Your
but it's
insurance
just-
company can tell you.
They just basically give you a form and it names the town. So we can help you do that. There's no cost. It's just a form. We just have to have that on file. But what's nice about this is we have a precedent because BFIT, I'm just forgetting.
Yeah, BFIT.
BFIT across the street from next to the old police station was using one of the fields, and we worked out an agreement where they paid, I think, like one flat fee for the season. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, they made a donation,
And then in use of the field. So it's just kind of like, we try to work out something that's fair for everyone because that's a for-profit business. He was training kids in the fields, the same exact situation. So it's really the insurance is the most important thing, and then anything we can, figure out together that makes sense for everyone. I think that makes sense.
We're not trying to put the screws to you. We
No.
just, it's just like you said, we have to generate the money to cut the grass. It's not just done by the town.
Right.
So it puts us in a situation where anyone using the fields pays a fee, regardless. It's just how much. We just work out something that's fair. We're not trying to, like I said, we're not trying to put you out of business or make you pay us an exorbitant. That's not it. And I forget what BFIT's,
Wasn't a lot.
I think it's $100,
Yeah.
For the
$100 donation and make it to the parks.
Season or something. Yeah.
And everything's good. You have our permission.
Well, you're
have our
probably
blessing.
lying.
And the third piece, which you've already worked out, is any conflicts with other teams, which has
Right.
been
You have
figured
con-
out.
Right, now you're working with them,
So it's
so that
much easier.
conflict is gone.
Yeah.
Which is,
But there was no conflict, it was more like a.
no, because you're doing,
Can you
you're,
hire
but if you
me?
independently came to us, say,
Yeah, if you independently came to us, we'd have to figure that out, which is fine. We don't have to do that, which makes our lives really easy. So.
right.
Good.
And it's just the way we have to do business, because we have to generate everything we can.
I guess I had a different idea of what Parks and Rec was, I guess. I don't understand how government works.
Well, each town is different, each town is different, I mean, if we were fully funded by the town,
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Then you could just, if
Have
you're
a
a
nice
member, you do whatever you want.
That makes sense.
It's a different
know?
animal, it's a different whole, that's why I started with that, 'cause it's a whole different, we literally have this discussion like 3 or 4 times a meeting with everyone that comes in, so.
and they go,
Nobody
well, my tax
nobody
dollars
knows.
pay for it, and we go, no, you don't.
Well,
So-
I don't have that defense either, because I don't live in this town,
Right,
so.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, so, but that's, so that's another thing, so, people, hey, who's this out here playing soccer on the fields during the day? I don't know. Oh, you're a commissioner, you should know. This way, if someone says, hey, we see somebody out there training people in the fields, who's that?
Yeah,
we know just who it is.
Yeah.
Yep, and she's come to us and everything is good. We have an insurance binder and everything's great. End of story, end of conversation. That way, we give you a field, we assign you space. So that way, no one can come and kick you off.
So timing
Have to
wise,
come to us.
you've already started, I assume? 'Cause it's the summer.
Right.
She's been, yeah.
Timing wise, you're already doing it, right?
I literally only have like 2 weeks left
Okay.
of the season.
Okay.
And
So-
then Freetown's gonna be, I'm gonna go to that meeting for their board, and then they're gonna promote my foot skills clinic. So like I specialize in goalkeeping and foot skills, so
Yeah.
they're gonna try and see if they can get like a number of kids to sign up for it, because then
That'd be great.
that
So-
makes it
so-
a lot easier to
Sure.
schedule.
So
Yeah.
2 more weeks at the park,
Mhm.
right? And then, obviously you're looking to do this next year as well, right? Probably.
Possibly, I don't know, we'll see.
Sounds,
Like,
it sounds popular, so.
I start a new job this fall in a different school district, so I don't know if I'm gonna end up moving there, because Carver is kind of a haul from Taunton right now.
Carver? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited because it's honors algebra that I
Oh,
get to
great.
teach.
Cool.
so.
Great.
So, I think what we can do is we'll kind of vote on what to do here, but I think with a couple weeks left, I personally just want to make sure there's insurance coverage, so the town is not liable. So we can help you do that, but
Okay.
we just gotta figure out what's fair maybe, and then get back to you. And I'll be the point, I'll give you all my contact info, so you can get a hold of me directly. So I do the field schedule, so it's basically field schedule. And then we'll just quickly give you an update, and you'll be good to go. So the next time you're doing this is it like every day right now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I've got a college athlete, but I'm actually not doing it in the morning because I know they have camp this
Okay.
week.
So this week you're
So-
not doing anything?
Just not in the morning, I'm doing it at night. So like I only schedule 8 in the mornings, and then like, just because this summer it's so hot,
Yeah.
like I don't do
So you're gonna be here
anything
tomorrow at whatever, 5 or whatever it is? And the park does close too, you know that, right?
At dusk, right?
Yeah,
So
yep.
like when we can't see a soccer ball is kind of the clue that we shouldn't be out
Yeah.
there
No, it's,
anymore.
it's closed right now for the Board of Health because of triple E.
Right, it's not just,
Yeah.
it's not just, yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
just
just closed, it's because of the mosquitoes,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So I guess I only have one tomorrow, so that's 6. And then, so it's like now that I'm in August, everything gets lighter and lighter because everybody goes back to school and, you know, their club teams start and their town teams start. And so it's really dying down at this point. But I am out there every afternoon, so sometimes only 1 hour, sometimes
Without
2.
Nellie here, how can we get her we need an insurance binder like now.
Well, there's an applications in here somewhere.
From,
To the field.
So this is, by the way, this is
Oh,
from
yeah, we
the
go.
team?
Here's the contract. Here's the contract.
Okay.
You can take that anyway.
So we do need a contract, right? And this is what the insurance binder looks like. So it's just a standard thing, but it names the town.
That's usually at the bottom.
Town where is it?
Yeah, you just tell them, you say, I need insurance binder naming the town of Lakeville as an additional insured.
Yeah.
That's
You
it.
know, I would say, I mean, she's only got 2 weeks left.
That's what I'm thinking, the same thing, but we do need this though.
I would just say maybe, you know,
I
in
mean,
the
I'm gonna be
future.
continuing with Freetown Lakeville though, so like their fall clinics, like I'll still be doing this and it won't be through the Revolution. It'll be, they're just gonna be hiring me, so I don't know if
But that's
that was
fine.
different.
No,
okay.
that's, because you're like a coach, right, at that point?
In a sense,
Yeah,
we can look
okay.
up.
So that's different, because you're under their.
And that's why Mike asked
And
the
they have
question,
these.
because we allow them to train without an additional cost, because they're already paying us, they're already.
And they
you
have
know,
insurance binders and all
And
this.
they give us insurance binders in the whole ball of wax.
And they help, you know, they do a lot of field upgrades and they help out with projects and
Talked
stuff
a
like
lot with
that.
Val about that and he
Yeah.
was telling me quite a few stories, so.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking at
We can
least.
tell you a few stories too.
Yeah, Mike and I were on the soccer board for 10 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So,
Joe used to coach. Yeah, so, yeah.
and my only concern is getting, at least the effort of getting it done.
Yep.
I think it's just not a great idea to be like, yeah, you'll be fine for 2 weeks, and then something happens, and then we're all in trouble, right? So.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
you got the schedule, it's up to you.
Well, so I don't, so I can help walk you through it, to try to figure out how to do it.
Okay.
I think it's as simple as going to, well, who did we do this with? Somebody else needed guidance, who was it? Pickleball?
It was pickleball.
If you just get a hold of the insurance company, tell them that's what I need, you're all set,
Right.
let's do it.
Yeah, there's a phone number, like, it's
Yeah.
weird
So,
the
okay.
way that they
That's-
listed it, I just have to
Why don't
give you my
I'll give
membership
you-
ID number, which I
Why
can't
don't you
get
put
right
your-
now.
It's okay.
but,
Your
like,
number on it.
Yeah,
I'm
let
gonna
me-
call them tomorrow and get it, and then like you
Here.
just call this phone number and confirm my membership. And it's either $100,000 or $1 million of insurance. Again, only had to use that once and it was for my myself, not my kid.
Yeah, but we just want to make sure that everybody's covered, that's all.
Yeah, so if you reach out
That's-
to your insurance company, I'll give you the, that's my number, my cell phone, so you can text me or whatever.
Okay, thank you, Justin.
And what I'll do is, you need like the address and all that stuff, so we'll just help you get it, and usually you just email them, they email it back, you can send it or whatever, and work it back.
I will do this first thing tomorrow after I'm done with my morning
Perfect,
session.
but I want to make a motion to allow them to continue the last 2 weeks, at no cost. You do need the contract and the insurance binder if you can get it.
Yes.
And then next season, we'll probably try to figure out something, you know,
That is
let's
more
say,
than
whatever it
fair.
is, you know, June 1st, whenever you stop, whenever you're starting.
Last day of school.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's as simple as how many kids you think you're gonna get, what's fair, and then we're all good from there, so. But we'll figure that out
So
actually,
is that for the 2 weeks or start, because you start again in the fall?
but as a coach.
Right,
No,
but
like
she will be
it'll be
coaching for
through
Freetown Lakeville.
Freetown. So like
This
they're.
is
gonna
separate
hire
from
me.
Freetown.
This is separate right now.
Okay, is it a pay fee that's making, is it are you making money on this?
Now, yes.
No, but in the fall, will you be making, are they be paying you?
Freetown Lakeville Soccer will be paying me.
But any team can get anybody to pay.
Yeah, they
It's under their
hire
umbrella.
private coaches all the time, so does baseball.
I think it's just it's gray area for me, but we'll let you
Yeah.
guys say, I don't want to waste your time with that there. We'll
No, it's a good
talk
question.
about that
It's a
later.
good
No,
question.
right, we-
Someone's making money on it, I just don't know how, you know.
Yep,
There's some careful people having a business here, even if they're with someone else, they're still, whatever.
That's the biggest problem, right, is that people
Yeah.
think it's part of the town taxes, and like, I'm a Freetown, you know, or Lakeville resident, so I'm gonna just run a business in here. It's just not the case, so. It's
I
not
second,
you, I'm just
I
saying.
second your motion.
so Mike second the motion, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Thanks.
opposed?
No.
Unanimous.
Perfect. So
Thank
keep
you.
doing your thing, and I'll walk you through it, and we'll get you what you need, just to make sure there's no bad things that happen, and then we'll be good to go. And then obviously, we recommend coming back
And
when
then
you're
it'll cover you
getting ready
too.
Yeah,
next year.
if I end up staying.
Right,
here,
if you
but
understand.
I really do
And then through the
appreciate
fall,
it so
that's,
much.
you're also, that's, you know, that covers you through the falls too, so, you know, it's a good thing for us to have that on file.
Right, you might get a
That's
big
the whole
push.
thing, and that's what we're required to do by the town. So
Yeah, of
we're required,
course.
the agent of the town, to get this information from everybody.
Yeah, so that's a good point. If something changes and you all of a sudden decide, I'm gonna do a winter, not what you wouldn't do, but I'm just saying. Just let us know,
Never know,
just let us
global
know.
warming and all.
Just let us know what you're thinking, and we'll just kind of have like this. But the fact that you know kind of all the way it works now is a big start, so.
No, thank you so
Yep.
much, really.
Okay,
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming in, I appreciate
you.
it.
Oh, thank you so
very
much, yep.
nice to meet
Thank
you.
you, nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Okay,
Do you have the bills?
Bill, oh, they're right here beside me.
Yep. I'll drop all this stuff off.
Okay. Approve the minutes. We've got certain people and certain minutes. Monday, November 19th, 2018. Scott, Mike, and Justin.
Yep,
Oh, remember now.
Have you had a chance to look at them?
yep. Did you read them earlier, Justin?
Yep.
Okay. They look fine to me.
Same.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes from November 19th as printed, as submitted, I should say.
Second.
It's been second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's good. And the second one is from July 22nd, our last meeting, I think so. Mike, Jesse, and Scott. Have you guys had a chance to review?
Yep.
Okay. Did you find anything that we need to clarify or change?
Do not. Mosquito.
Mosquito. Ooh,
See ya.
okay.
Yeah.
We're out.
Well, we'll make a
Doing it
motion
again.
To
to
adjourn.
to accept the minutes of Monday, July 22nd. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Those are accepted. Nellie, they're accepted, thank you. Okay, so moving on, time we got, 7:35. All right, we're gonna move it.
Oh,
Okay,
we're right on.
yep. Clear Pond Park?
Let's see, when I went there last week, we discussed, the history of the bacteria, what closes it, we discussed already today, the rainfall and all the drainage into the pond. We also discussed, beach sand, it's real packed down there. I said we were waiting on the water level to go down a little. Doug wasn't too concerned about that. He was saying you can just put it right in and let it go in the water, and when the water recedes, it's still there. He recommended I get a quote from AA Will. He said, use those in the past. Do we need to get quotes from 2, 3?
For sand?
Yeah. You can just quote from one.
Yeah.
All right. And we talked about the gravel, how we're gonna wait till after the season. So we didn't really have anything new other than those issues that we talked about.
Were you talking about putting sand down now, this time of year?
Well, earlier we had mentioned in a meeting that we should get a quote and then have one truckload and the kids would move it. Doug said kids do it real quick, it doesn't take that long. I think that was like 2 meetings ago we discussed that. So, but we were waiting on the water to recede because it's real high right now.
Still high.
Yeah, Doug was saying we really don't have to worry about the water receding.
The only reason I question is in the past, whenever we got sand, we got it before the season started in the spring.
Right.
I'm just trying to think if there's any reason why you wouldn't want to do it this time of year, other than maybe stuff's gonna grow up through it
Yeah,
during the
yeah.
winter, or, I mean, if you're already in the process of it, great.
No, I haven't got
You
the
gotta,
quote yet.
you gotta do it when you can do it, but, I just, in the past, we've always
I
done it
mean,
this
we're
way.
almost done with the season. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Right.
a couple of weeks left in the season. So.
Right, I mean, it's probably something to look to anticipate it and get the quote in March so that we can have them do it, dump it in June at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Because we do have someone comes in and
Rototills.
rototills the.
Did they do that this year,
They did, yeah.
Yep,
Richard?
yep.
And did you get the gravel from the same place as the sand, or maybe they put package?
Well, the gravel is something that Franklin was gonna do for you, right?
Yeah, I think.
The highway
Franklin's-
department?
Oh, he's highway.
They have all the materials, they have a state contract for all that material, so he'll bring that in.
Oh, you could even talk to him about getting the sand. I mean, he must have a
Yeah,
contract
probably
with
get a better
sand.
deal on the sand too.
I mean, sometimes not, because sometimes it was a donation, the sand, but,
Yeah, we like donations.
yeah. Okay, good. SEM and the Loon Pond Lodge updates?
Okay, first thing, I'm gonna go with the most recent thing that came up today, is this email that I got from Nellie about the setup for voting.
Yep,
There's a note from
Yeah, that's-
the town clerk, I can't find it, of course, about setting up either Sunday or Monday for the Tuesday voting, and there's also a response back from, here it is. We have stuff,
we have an ocean spray annual meeting here.
yeah, on Monday, and she said until 1, the earliest they can get in would be 1:30. So I don't know, someone's gonna have to call Lillian and let her know
I thought
that.
Nellie already sent, didn't she, was it part of that email a response to? No, it wasn't a response?
Haven't we done this forever? Like, why, is it different?
Well, the date of the election, I mean, does change.
No, I know, but like, are they asking for
Well,
extra time, or?
They like to get in 2 days in advance, and it's just not feasible when we're renting the building.
Yeah, maybe
They
unless they come up
get in the
before.
afternoon on Monday.
Yeah.
That's what they've got.
Yeah, what Nellie's,
Must have come before.
Nikki said was, they could set up in the Cassidy room,
Yep,
but they can't, this whole area here is gonna be taken up until 1 o'clock.
yep,
That's I don't know, see what we can do, but that's a paid for
that's right.
function that they do every year as well.
And I
And it's
think-
Ocean Spray who does lots of
Yeah,
good things for this town.
We should have Nellie respond just in that way, that they can set up
Okay.
their equipment.
Well, I think Nellie's gone for the week, so why don't I give Lillian a call tomorrow and let her know what the story is and
Okay.
see if we can work something out. I mean, we could even, if it's just her and Ted that do it, she references she and Ted, maybe we could send a couple of kids down to help them set it up on Monday afternoon.
It's
Whatever
usually
we can do
more
to
than
help
just-
out the
More than
town.
just the two of them.
Huh?
It's usually more than just the two of them.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to her.
Yeah,
Okay? And we'll see what we come up. All right, as far as the Tri-Fest review, We talked with SEM about some possible solutions.
This is for next year.
For August 22nd and 23rd of 2020, which was already booked for a wedding. I think, well, the problem is going to be solved after this anyway, because he's already booked the next 4 years out as it is, but whoever, we probably should have known that he takes one of the last couple of weekends in
Doing it
August.
for
But
18 years.
anyway, if you guys aren't familiar with it, we make $7,000 to $8,000.
Second biggest
on it.
individual.
Yeah.
And super
It's our biggest
super
single
popular.
day.
Huh?
It's our biggest single weekend.
Yeah. So, anyway, Mark sent an email back asking if there's a possibility if he can hold it here without using the lodge. So I came and I spoke to Nikki and Lori, and we came up with, the only thing on that weekend is on the 22nd, Saturday, there's a wedding at 3 o'clock. So, and Saturday is the short race. It's
Yep.
kind of, they
The
call it the
sprint.
Challenger race.
I'm doing it.
Oh, good for you.
You gonna do it? It's
Yeah.
the sprint.
So, we kind of came up with some ideas about cordoning off here in the parking lot, in the bar parking lot for the wedding.
Yeah.
And kind of, instead of having them set up all their stuff over here in this parking lot in the Pine Grove, possibly set them up over there. And, you know, 'cause trying to do whatever we can. It's also gonna affect where they get in and get out of the water, because you get in over here and you get out up the
Right.
stairs.
Right.
So, I'm meeting with Mark next Monday. He's coming to the selectmen meeting for, I assume he's talking to them about this year's
The roads and stuff.
roads and stuff like that. So I'm meeting with him right after that.
You know what I
And I'd like to, if any of you guys want to, come in spitball with him, try and see if we can come up with a solution for him.
You know what I learned is I'm just getting into triathlons. This is literally my first one. And this race is like known around the country. It's like one of the better races. And it's a great look for Lakeville. People come and they
Yeah,
love
it
it.
is.
Like you wouldn't think it, you're like, oh yeah, whatever, this bogs. People love it. Like so I think obviously logistically we continue the tradition makes sense, but I think it's good for us if we can figure it out.
If
And
you
he
want-
wants to stay.
He wants
If
to
you
stay,
could
but I'm saying
take-
it's great for the town.
Oh,
It's
it is.
surprisingly good for the town. No shot.
If you could take a look at it scheduling wise, see if you have ball games and see what we're going to have to avoid on
August.
the 22nd and 23rd.
They're not going to have any schedules out next year.
No, yeah, next year, yeah.
It's right. So generally speaking, there's not a lot of stuff happening.
Right, it's
pretty
before
dead.
the holiday, it's
Pretty
before the
dead.
holiday.
Well, that's-
Most of the sports start after the
It's
holiday.
always
almost
worked
always
out, that's why it's always worked out so well,
Right,
because
right,
the
yeah.
park
I mean, I'm not even doing schedules because there's nothing on. the schedule.
But keep it in your back of your mind, that
Yep.
if we do work this out, we're not
And-
gonna,
and-
we don't wanna be
and
booking
Saturday
anything
is
else.
okay, but I'm
the
okay
shorter
with
of
it
the two
now,
races.
and then,
my
Ken's
wife
like, I
did
wanna do a
it,
tournament.
they're in and out of here. They're
I'm
gone
fine
by
with
1 o'clock.
Okay,
I'm just gonna kind of shift things over here. Yeah.
other than that, the only thing I noticed in the bills, Bill came for the deep cleaning of the rug, and I'll check with them and see what they think as far as what kind of job they did.
Were they around the last time we got deep cleaned by the other company? So that we
Yeah.
can compare them?
Yeah, he did it last year, yeah. The other people did it.
Yeah, so we'll get a look at it. But other than that, not too much, not too many problems here with them. They're busy. We had a wedding that there was a bunch of beer bottles and stuff left out back, and some of the rocks were knocked down to where the entrance to the thing is. I talked to Nikki about it. She said, that's every wedding. They picked up the bottles and they cleaned it up.
Okay, cool.
And I also did let them know, because Sarah was here the other day when I stopped in, she was asking me about the Triple E thing. And she's like, can we not have people, here? And I said, no, you can have the function,
Need to be inside.
but you gotta announce to them that they need to stay in the building. They can't, if they wanna go out, smoke and do whatever they're gonna do, we get signs up everywhere.
Yep.
Say don't do it. But, so she's gonna make an announcement at all the
Yeah, the park's
functions.
closed, the building's not closed.
Correct.
No, that's why the sign says all outside
That's
activity.
why I iterated
Yeah.
the word outdoor.
Yeah. That's it.
Cool.
Okay, I'll
I was
ask,
from the Little Pond Horseshoe Club, and I had asked
Hi.
Nell about an August 16th tournament, which is the evening, and now that's impossible.
yes.
So,
Sorry, this is horseshoes?
yes,
Okay.
horseshoes, yes. So we just might have it August 18th. It's probably going to be a pickup thing, and it's going to be very small, so. But I need to know if you have anything scheduled on August 18th in the park.
So, did you do a tournament request form? So this is a new policy as of,
Well, it's a new written policy,
New
but
written policy.
it's been a policy. Tournaments have been a policy for years.
so there's a tournament request form that we ask all.
We filled out something at the beginning of the season for
That's-
all of them.
That's,
Yep, so the way we
And
do
this
it
is an
is,
add-on.
it's a separate process.
Right.
We actually had a problem with softball a couple years ago.
Okay.
So this is kind of
So
a.
fill it out and get it back to you?
yes, please.
Okay. And but I don't even know when. I don't know when we can do it.
Right, we don't have the calendar here, so we can't tell you if there's anything on the 18th.
Okay.
August?
Oh, I'm sorry. We do have the calendar.
We do have the calendar.
I don't see anything on the 18th, but.
18th is a Sunday.
It is a Sunday.
There's no wedding or anything at this point, there's nothing.
Okay.
So August 18th.
When were you gonna have it?
We're going to have a Friday night, the 16th.
Oh, yeah, you got a wedding?
Yeah, but that's not a
Well,
problem.
yeah, but the
No,
AAA thing.
the AAA.
I don't
Oh,
think the wedding
AAA,
was
that's
going to be a
right,
big
that's right.
deal, but
No,
I think the
no, I don't think that was gonna be a
AAA
problem.
So what, if you do it on the 18th, what time is it gonna be? During the
10
day?
o'clock.
During the day?
Yeah, morning-ish.
Yeah, just let us know on
Yeah,
that,
you can, it's in
on
the
that
form.
form.
Yeah, everything's on the form. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, so there is a fee. I know that you might not know exactly the number, but if you can.
Well, you guys never
estimate
got
it.
back to us. We asked if that was $2 per person or $2 as it's been in the past for just people that are not members of our league. This one is going
So
to be
it's
all
typically
league.
$2 a person.
$2 a person?
Yeah.
$2 person.
Not just for people that are not in the league. Okay.
Correct.
And, all right, because this is going to be all people from the league.
Okay.
So just a little background, so what we, one thing we were discussing was raising the fees for the year. And, you know, obviously that doesn't go over very well, we're trying to balance the funds of the place, the running of the place.
I understand your financial issues, but we're just losing members.
this was an also-
We're losing members. We used to have 90 members. We have about 45,
It's just- it's so-
43.
yeah.
It's just getting worse and worse. And every time there's a fee raised, it's just one more little.
That's why we did, that's why we did
Are
the
you charging,
tournament
are
fee.
you charging a fee for the tournament?
Yeah, but it all goes back to prize money.
But the-
We don't
but the-
charge much, it all goes back to prize money.
Right, so
I
what
know.
some teams
You
are
gotta
doing
pay
is
for the
building
trash.
the cost.
Pardon?
And we have to pay for the trash and.
No, I understand,
I'm
I
not-
understand where you're coming from.
Right, I mean, we charged volleyball the last, NBA tournament, we charged them.
I totally understand where you're coming from, and I think that the way it's run from the town is probably not
Well,
the best.
Different discussion.
Different
That's
discussion, exactly.
that's another whole day.
That's another whole, exactly. So I don't agree with that, but
Neither do we.
it's just hard to keep members, that's all.
I understand.
So we're all fighting that same battle.
Yeah.
So-
Everybody is, all the groups are.
But it's under the same insurance binder, so you're good there, correct?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's on the.
Yep.
Same insurance, same contract or agreement, original, and then whatever your fees, as long as you're paid upon the normal fees, good there
Yeah,
too.
okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, where were we? Just to add to Loon Pond Lodge, I got 3 tables. One's in transit. 2 of them here. Linda and I put up the no smoking signs and the new thing. So they're smoking out there, smoking out on the other end, and a sign, no smoking in the back. And a sign when you come in the front door that says nothing within 25 feet.
Is it working?
I don't know. I wasn't here and it was the first wedding was last night. And I came in this morning and the chairs were outside,
The chairs were outside?
were left outside.
These chairs?
No.
Because the wedding that was last night, they brought their own chairs in.
Well, they may still be here. Our white chairs were outside.
Oh, so they had the wedding at the gazebo,
Yep,
and then, yeah, it was a pretty fancy wedding.
yep. I sent an email to Nikki, I sent a text message to Nikki and she said, well, they got done at 12:30. And I go, I understand, but they got left out in the rain and they're getting rusted. They're brand new chairs, 2 years old, and they're getting rusted. And we paid for them. So, anyhow, tables, the smoking signs are all up, tables are in. That's all I had to add to Loon Pond Lodge.
That's these tables?
They're 8-footers. And the problem being, I've got canceled 3 times on my order. The first one, They were $170, and that was the cheapest I could find for an 8-foot table. And I ended up getting these for $69 a piece.
Oh, boy.
The price, the bottom fell out of the price, I don't know what happened, but I got canceled 3 times. Here I am expecting an order, and then I go online and cancel. I'm like, gee, thanks. So that's why they've taken 2 months to get them here. But anyhow, that we do have coming. Ted Williams Camp updates. Anything?
As you guys know, we did have issues with Massey Ferguson a couple of weeks ago, and they're pretty much straightened out. So at that time, we were looking at options. Mike he got us a price on turf tires for the Ford there. So that maybe work out as a good backup. So as soon as I have a price for them, I'll let you guys know. He said the other thing, and he made sense, he said, down the road, that's Massey Ferguson's 30 years old. The Ford's probably as old as that. We're gonna need a new tractor. And he suggests we get a 4-wheel drive tractor, because if we're gonna be doing those fields over there on the slopes, you really need a 4-wheel drive to do that. So he did a little research for us. This is by no means anything other than, we should start thinking about in the equipment part of the budget.
What's the ballpark?
Within the next $50,000 between he said, and he's right about this. He said if you're going to get a new machine, you'd want to get a new bat wing too. And the machine that he looked at was $37,300, and the bat wing is $13,000. So just something to think of if you guys want to look at it. It's there. He did some work,
You have
so.
to pay 100% up front?
Huh?
You have to pay 100% up front, or?
No, you go through, both these companies are through the bid,
Pre-procure, like the list, right?
yeah, the approved list. So they would just bill us, just like the bunker rake. So,
I think what you're saying is, can you pay like?
we'd have to put it in
for
our
30
budget.
years?
We'd have to put it in our budget, and that's gonna be down the road, so.
Yeah.
They're gonna want it all up front.
Huh?
No, what he's talking about, paying installments.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, no. Yeah, we never looked at that.
50
Maybe
bucks a
it
month
could
for
take,
30 years, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's possible.
yeah, anything's possible.
Yeah. Okay, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I'm still doing it. The irrigation with the library issue,
Yes.
where it was, you guys were where it was kicking it off every night. I worked with Jamie, the library director, and Jack from Stearns, and Mike, and Nate, and we finally figured out the problem. The problem was they were overlapped. Did I ever tell you guys all this already? Okay. That system was running for 11 hours. It was running from 8:30 in the evening until 7:30 in the morning. So when our system went to call for water at 4 o'clock, it was shorting it out, shutting it down. So they're gonna have to get their system straightened out so that there's more than 3 or 4 heads per zone. They have 24 zones over there.
Some
The
with
library
one,
does?
some with one head.
Holy shit.
Yeah, also something I also found out and I was not aware of. It's not just the library, it's the library and the whole town hall area.
Really?
I have no idea how that happened. I wasn't on the board at the time, but,
Maybe it
so
was-
it's 24 heads, 24 zones
Must have
with
been-
3 or 4 heads, 5 heads.
Sorry.
So anyway, the long-term solution is to double them up so that you run like 8, 10 heads per zone, and that'll cut it down to about 5.5 hours. They're looking into that, prices and stuff for that. What we did for a short-term fix that Jamie came up with is she's running half of her zones one night and the other half the next night. So it's only running for like 6 hours, 5.5, 6 hours. And then it's no problem when ours come on at 4 o'clock. So I believe she's done that already because it hasn't been a problem.
Seems like a good way to do it.
Friday
Right.
night.
You still gotta adjust it because it's not
No, that-
maximizing the pump.
Right, that's the other issue that we found out about doing all this research, is that the pump has plenty of water to send over there. They're getting 60 gallons per minute over there. The pump will do up to 100 gallons per minute. But it also has a minimum. It's not supposed to go below 18 gallons per minute. Well, 3 or 4 heads is like 10, 12. So he said eventually you're gonna burn your pump out. So that's what she's doing, what we're doing right now. And she knows all this. We went through
Just
the whole thing
temporary
with her.
fix.
And Nate knows it. This is not a long-term solution. It's just to get us through right now while it's really hot and he needs being watered. So, I had a question. What's the status of the lights for the basketball and volleyball?
Okay, I can give you that. I came on Thursday when the word was passed down, the park was closed.
Yeah.
And I tried to take the timer out, the piece out, but I couldn't, my fat thumbs and fingers couldn't do it, so I moved the timer to, the lights come on at 9:45 and shut off at 10. There's a 15-minute,
Yep.
they're together, but, so they're off. So they don't come on. So none of these groups
Can do it.
should be playing. They should be going home now. It's
Yeah.
dusk.
Yeah.
This is
So-
dusk.
So with the Triple E thing,
And I posted
it shouldn't be an
signs.
issue, but
I
do we
posted-
still,
Yep, I posted a sign in front of volleyball, I posted a sign in front of horseshoes, I posted a sign in front of the, because I only had 6, in front of basketball. I put one in front of a skateboard park and they broke it. I put one in going out to football, I put 2 down to John Pond, and then Linda found some more, so she put it on both sides where football. And I think she put one down by soccer, but again, they don't have lights, so my main concern was the areas that do have lights or could use lights, I wanted to make sure they had a sign, so they were up that day. They were up Friday morning.
okay. My point was that though, do we need to call Kevin through back in? Were they working properly
They
before
were
that?
working, they were
Okay.
working properly, I've been coming in, checking every morning and every afternoon, I won't say every afternoon, at least every other day, and the time of day has been correct. And when I've come in, both of them have been on
Okay, great.
at the right time. So right now, it seems to be working okay. Now that I've played with it, we'll see what happens.
Yep. Again, it's not an issue right now. So-
Right.
So just to go back to Triple E again, we haven't got to John Pond, but the blooper ball and everything knows about Triple E.
Everybody knows about it.
Okay.
No lights going on, nothing.
Okay. And that's all I have for Ted Williams Camp. Unless I'm
Okay.
missing something.
Yeah, just to add a couple things, I put a call into Timmy Delarocco about the Gamache sign and also trying to get Tommy Lennon's phone number for the job they were supposed to do. We wanted to put the walkway in, so that's in the works. And that's all I had was, I guess, oh, we're gonna do that later. Okay, that's all I had to add to.
Sports season?
Sports season.
Yay, so, couple updates. So pickleball, I spoke to pickleball, I've been kind of out and about for the last couple of weeks, but I did speak to pickleball about the board's decision to, say, focus their playing efforts on, let's say, spaces 2 and 3, you guys remember? For review, we're gonna put them at 2 and 3, 2 is temporary, multi-use, and they have the option of making 3 completely dedicated, changing the field, the structure, all that stuff. So he seemed pretty good with it. Obviously, there's a deeper discussion on resurfacing it, which we don't have to talk about. It's not nothing to do today. So I need to get a sign out there, but they should not be playing on court 1. Probably still are, so I need to get a sign out there.
Yeah.
And I think the real way to enforce it is for us to paint it,
Paint.
right?
Right.
So they know about it, it's not a surprise.
Right.
They have the option to make the space there.
Right.
And he asked a good question, he's like, what if there's a tournament? I'm like, you can tape it out. Tape it out, take the tape up when you're done. Come in with a form, just like anybody else.
Right.
So it's a truly temporary situation. So I'm interested in when, I mean, I don't know the cost or, painting it, but it would be nice to get that painted.
Yep, I'm all for it.
Fall
I
tennis.
had talked about it at an earlier meeting.
Yep.
I had priced out, it's a couple $100 for a 5-gallon pail of the orange, red, whatever you want to call it, and the green. Obviously, we don't need I don't think we need a 5-gallon pail of white, because it's just the lines. But I think we should start there. It's
So-
probably gonna be under $500.
Who's gonna do, like,
Well, I mean, I just went online and looked at it. I mean, we can order it.
well, who's gonna do
We're
it?
gonna pay someone to do it?
Or do we wanna use someone from Doug's crew?
I'll go down and help. Anybody that wants to do it, I'll work with anybody. I'll
I don't know,
try.
what have we done before? I don't know the answer.
None of us here have done it before.
Okay, what about basketball and stuff? Do they always do it?
I think if I
That hasn't
remember
been done in
correctly, they
years.
had it done.
You had it done?
Right, that's good, but it's very expensive to have
Right.
someone come in and do it.
What is it, just rollers? I mean, you gotta prep it probably.
Yep, you gotta clean it, and then you gotta,
So I don't know, should I look for bids of somebody to do it? What do you guys think?
I mean, you can, we can start there.
We can also talk
Sure, it'll be nice.
to Mike and Joe and Justin?
Justin, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's a perfect random.
See if they have the,
I mean, I think it's at the point where you just follow the lines, as long as you
Well,
do
I mean,
it properly.
you gotta find the white lines, and then you gotta find the lines that got covered over by pickleball court,
Yeah.
because they painted over it, and we're supposed to paint it back, but they never have.
But I think it's mostly that green space, isn't it? I think you just make it all green. I don't think they're crossing the line.
They're going over the white lines.
Okay.
It's right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, they're green.
But I think there's still entries where you know where it came in from.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, and like I said, when I went on and looked for the paint, there were painting kits, you know, where they had like cardboard outlines and.
What I'll do is I'll contact Doug and see, does he think this is a good project for someone? I'm guessing it's, what, a couple days, one court? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I've never painted a tennis court before.
I have no idea.
Right, a couple days.
Let's say a couple days.
Tell it tonight, and then the next day, and all
Yeah.
that, so.
Yeah, so I'll ask him, can I get a guy for a couple days? Does that make sense? You have the people for it? He'll say yes or no.
Well, Justin's the one that's here 2 days.
Wouldn't you have to power wash it first? Or-
Probably would be the right
Well,
thing
you
to
gotta
do.
prep it for sure.
You gotta prep it, yeah, probably power wash it, you know, 1 day, and you
Is
gotta
there
let it
cracks?
dry.
And it's got decent cracks in it too, so.
So you
that's the
gotta
other-
fill,
that's
you know,
the
you
other-
gotta, you gotta go down to Lowe's and get some
I'll look into
crack filler and.
Anyway, I'll look into
Set.
it, but the point is, they're aware, I haven't posted it yet. They do have the green light to replace space 3, if you wanna call it.
Put 3, yeah.
Yep, including taking the nets up, but obviously the flip of that is we can paint Portland. And I'm sure it'll cause a problem, but we'll figure it out when we get there. That's pickleball. I did walk through with Tim Long, awesome guy, about football, so they're doing a camp today. They haven't started practice yet, it's like a mini camp, I guess.
Yeah, they're doing something out there.
They're doing something out
Kids
there.
are in there.
Yep, so my plea to him was, you know, let's get you in more spots, right? You can't just be in the same spot, it beats the grass up too much, and we had that whole discussion before. They're pretty good about that, so I showed him all the way around, what field is?
Field 3.
3? So they're basically, they've used that space before the, so it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, anywhere that's not a baseball diamond is possible, right?
Yeah,
or soccer.
Or soccer, of course.
yeah.
So my suggestions were,
Or like right here in front of us.
so their old space, right, like kind of adjacent to where the fence went in, they could use that for a drill or whatever, it's not big, but they can use that whole kind of wraparound. And then all the way out to next to field 5. And I said, honestly, field 5 is probably not a bad choice either. I don't see it as a problem. Doesn't get a ton of use anyway.
No,
So I said, you know, honestly, just, you gotta make the effort, you gotta, you know, distribute the teams up when you can, and it's gonna make a big difference in the grass, and everyone wins. So he seemed open to it, he's gonna let people know, so.
They know about
I expect
that.
to see them in new places, I mean, I'm not sure, but,
Is that actually gonna work though? I mean, if you go in one spot, now you go in 5 spots.
but it's not anything else, that's the point. The reason ruining the spot stinks is it's actually a baseball diamond.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I mean, you know, once again, we have to fix this spots here. I mean, are we getting paid enough money from them, being compensated to fix it, so it's not costing us money?
I think the theory is that because they use one spot, it gets beat up more than most, and if they distribute it, it wouldn't be beat up so much, we'd have to fix it more than any. We don't have to fix the other field significantly.
No, but just be careful.
because no
It
one's
sounds
beating it
good, but
But like there's, I'm trying to think, like lacrosse, we never have to fix that. There was teams on that every day.
and we're gonna bill you.
Well, that town,
That's my point though, is that, but it was just, it was
that grass
timed out,
back
so it
there
was-
is very established, really, really mature.
Yeah.
Because nobody uses it.
I'm just questioning, and it sounds
And
good.
it's a great point, and I think honestly, we're kind of in like trial and error at this point, like, let's try it out, let's see if it's better, if it's not better, we'll still have to address
I mean,
it,
we
right?
keep it open that if the field is more money than we anticipated, that they pick up the tab.
I think it's fair, but I think this is a good like kind of alternative to try it out, and if it doesn't work and we still feel like we get the cost, then we can.
Did we ever send them a
they-
bill for the $2,500 it cost us last time?
I think we should.
We can, we started off with the bill and it kind of trended into let's try some spots.
Okay, because I didn't remember where the
I know,
I don't think we
conversation went.
ever told them we were gonna bill.
Last year, you know, I mean, that's not for this year, that was
Right.
the work that was done last year.
Yeah. So I think,
Okay.
you can definitely consider it, just give me a heads up if you're gonna do that, or somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna make a decision.
We won't do it
whether to
without-
Bill them, or bill them something,
Yep.
you know? I mean, I think they should, if they.
And it's a great way to make your point too. If they're feeling like, it's nice to have it, we don't have to go over there, and then they get the bill, they're gonna be more apt to try to spend.
Well, they're also not gonna beat it up as bad this year anyway, because they can't be out there at night.
For now,
Well, they just gotta make their practices earlier, that's what they have to do.
yeah. They'll find a way to get out there.
They're still gonna go out there,
Yeah.
they're still gonna practice the same amount.
If anything, it's probably worse.
Think so?
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody's been over to Freetown, but they have money, because they built two buildings over there.
Yeah, so that's the update. He did have one interesting request, which was, so obviously the Tripoli aside, he asked that when they do start to potentially use the lights, can he repoint them to where they are? So right now, he said they're not pointed to the field. I don't know if they are or not.
They are, but they're just not pointed where they're playing.
Correct.
Right.
But he said, in his opinion, he said it's not even, some of them, not all of them, but some of them are not even pointed right.
Oh, and some of them are pointed straight up.
Right.
Yeah.
So he said if, so obviously it was the obvious, do anything, don't do something, come in, ask about it, but likely the idea is if you're gonna pay for something and you're gonna fix something, then fine, just let us know and we'll all work it out.
Do they pay for lights?
Adjust it.
I know, do they pay for electricity for lights?
That's a good question, I don't know. Nellie,
Yes,
no?
they do.
They do? They get an electric bill?
Yes,
Okay, I didn't know if they did or not.
yes.
I know,
Good.
when I had to chase down, Little League, but I don't think, you sure they must
They're
pay?
supposed to. They always have in the past.
I'll ask now.
Yeah, just ask.
Okay.
There was,
So anyway, I
there
thought
was
it
a
was-
spreadsheet.
But same thing, and my point to him was, we just wanna work with you, you just don't gotta do stuff. And it was actually a good example, we were walking by the field and literally put us up on a field up, and I'm like, hey, you can't play here because they just did whatever they wanted. Like, that's the point. So you just have to let us know.
Yep, no, absolutely.
But that's it, and it was, the horseshoes were good on, that's it. You probably think of something else, but I think that is the majority of it.
Okay, John Pond Park updates.
Let's see, things are winding down. The scheduled co-ed blue ball finishes this week. After that, the regular blue ball women's finishes in 3 weeks. Nothing's overlapping. There is a tournament this weekend, the Peter Looney tournament. I did ask Doug if Justin was around to maybe do the dragon in the field Saturday morning at 8. Because blue ball's finishing up Friday night, so they'll be on the field. So I think if guys around, drag it. If not me, I'll go over there and drag it myself. They're only going to be there one day, so no big deal. And then Freetown Lakeville softball is usually on Sundays for a couple hours for a pitching thing or whatever they're doing. So there's no conflicts. I did ask Blooper Ball and Free Lake softball for schedules for the fall. Blooper Ball came back with some possible stuff they'd like to see. I'm waiting for Freetown Lakeville softball.
What is Blooper Ball doing in the fall?
They want to try playing in the fall.
That's the co-ed or the men's league. That's not the women.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to,
The co-ed league was.
right, they're trying to reorganize their schedule, and play on some of the other fields, obviously because of the Triple E.
Yeah. Well,
The girls.
yeah, they're all set on that.
Yeah,
Right,
that's what I'm saying.
we got 2 fields set, but the co-ed, they want to have a thing in the fall, from September to November, they want to play. They're thinking that they're trying it out, want to try it out. So I said, well, let us know what you're thinking. But I'm going to try to get scheduled with the softball people at the same time. Because they want to be doing stuff too during the week and weekends. So I'll have that scheduled stuff down the road with those guys. Other than everything else going well, the bathroom's going well, I think.
Yeah,
Still there.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you, because I'm kind of, trying to hand everything over to you. Do you want to follow up on the water in the, covering up the electrical, or do you want me to continue on and?
It doesn't matter, Nick, I can tell where we have, I mean, we'll be done probably 3 weeks anyway with this.
Whoa, what do you mean?
Fall, I don't think we have it going in the fall. If we can do that now, we'll just pull a plug after Labor Day on it anyway. We're not gonna leave it there, right? I thought we're gonna move it out of there.
Well, that's a discussion we're
Store
gonna have.
it, right? We're not gonna leave it over the winter, right?
No, but I mean, if you're gonna have fall leagues, it's a 3-season unit, it actually has heat.
I mean, we talk about
What
it.
you would have to avoid is, the water freezing coming
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah,
But, I don't think you need to take out in,
right.
Labor Day.
I was thinking about the end of this month, at least pulling the porta potties out of there. That we're paying for 2 of them. Maybe the end of the month, pull them out of there and just use this solely.
Are we gonna get the water put underground,
well,
or?
that's what I'm asking
Yeah.
Joe.
You mentioned in the minutes, I know it was in there, yeah, we should put it underground, we should, the wiring should be hardwired in there.
Okay, well, I'll call the, I've spoken to the town plumber about it already.
Okay.
He says it's something that they can do. Also, Freetown Lakeville softball had mentioned that they might be able to help out with that. And then I got a call, I didn't want to, if you're taking it over, I didn't want to step on your toes, I just want to.
Yeah, no problem.
That's why I'm asking now.
Yep.
But then I'll call Tom Robinson as well and see if we can get something to cover that over.
Yep.
Someone suggested, like, the handhold things, or the above ground ones, they're made out of that green plastic.
The what?
They're electrical, like in electrical services, like in a lot of, they don't have them on poles now, they're underground.
Oh, yeah.
So you have these
Panels, on the ground, yeah.
above ground handholds.
Yeah.
And the handhold is just something that
Yep.
covers up the electrical.
Yep.
Someone was saying that possibly, I think it was Nate might have mentioned it, was saying that you might be able to get something like that to go over that, and then they have a lock right on the top, you can unlock it and plug it in, so I'll look into that too.
Yep, because in my conversations while I was down the town hall, I did talk to Nate for a few minutes, and he said, he's got some time, that if somebody, whoever from the board, is gonna be the person, whether it's Joe or, you were still involved, or me, or whoever can get there, like we had talked about, some type of a box that you can
Yeah.
open and close, is actually to go look at it and then try to come up with some ideas. We were talking and we weren't there, so it's like, you're kind of like, well, yeah, I think you could do that, or, maybe you could do that.
I should be able to put a box on it with a, like a on-and-off thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's that's kind of what we were thinking, but that was the first thing we were thinking, and then Nate came up with some other ideas. He was like, instead of plugging it in, why not run it underneath and hardwire it inside? Put the plug on the inside.
Yeah, except you don't want that thing running all the time with the air conditioners running and all that, electricity wise.
Shut off the air conditioner.
If they put
Well,
Porta John doesn't have one.
Just open up the back door and shut it off, then you get people messing around with the switches and the breakers and stuff, but that might work. Yeah, no, that would certainly be a lot easier. But keep in mind that you have to unplug it, you have to take it apart and take it away. It's the same way with the water. Water's gotta be able to come, we can put a thing in and put a spigot right there.
Yeah.
But you can't really hardwire the water in there because.
Like I said, these were just,
Yeah,
we were just,
yeah.
he didn't know if it was gonna stay there, if we were gonna take it out, or what our actual plans are gonna be, So he was just,
Yeah.
again, we were talking and we weren't standing there, so.
Yep.
But, he's definitely a guy to reach out to and, would meet anybody down there, to go over some possible ideas, whether he brings in the Tommy Robinson or not, But,
they're available anytime this week. I don't know if you're available, Mike, anytime this week if they're around.
he says he could
Anytime, I'm
find
on all
some,
week.
find some time this
You're
week.
not traveling this week?
No, next week I am, not this week. So I can do it anytime.
Yeah, just reach out to Nate. He'll meet whoever down there.
No, see what you got.
Yeah, no, I know.
Also, like, I don't know if it's warranted or not, but I got some feedback that they were pretty dirty. And I don't know what day, or if it's true or not, so.
No, it was.
I don't know if that's even.
It was a one-time thing, no, it was, whatever.
That's fine, I'm just.
We got a good day man for Joe down there, and I don't know how you do it, people use paper towels, a couple people throw those in the toilets. They start flushing those things, we're gonna have problems, as you know. That stops them from doing that, but again.
Well, Linda went right down after you sent that email out that day.
Was it?
She's on a schedule now. She wasn't really on a schedule at cleaning them,
Well, who usually does it though?
but
Is it usually-
she'll be doing it.
Yeah,
Okay, I got it, okay.
But that was right after a big tryout for the Dynamites, or the Drifters. And also, Freetown Lakeville softball was doing a clinic all week.
yeah.
So it was getting heavy use, and that's why.
That happens,
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was true.
Yeah, it's getting
I
used-
felt like saying, hey, clean them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be
I
shy.
think also that, but that's the thing we have to watch out for. A couple times I've gone down and there's been paper towels in the toilet, or,
Yeah.
you know someone's trying to flush those things.
Yeah.
That's gonna give us problems if they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we
I
get,
think twice a week is enough for her to go down there, don't
yeah.
you?
I told her now, I'll let her know every time, and maybe I didn't let her know enough people using it. I'll let her know, again, for this Friday, this weekend, that's all it's, we get in there on Friday, load it up.
Yeah.
I'll be there Saturday looking at it, it's only a one-day thing, not too many teams, so it should be all set.
It's just like the
So I think
training,
that's
right?
a big piece
The big
of my
tournament.
part on that one.
You fill
Right,
up.
and if I remember correctly, it doesn't have a lot of supply there. It only has enough for like 2
And you
rolls.
don't, yeah, you don't leave too much in there, because someone's
No,
gonna do something.
you're right, you're right,
So,
you're right.
yeah.
You're right, but it's kind of a catch-22
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
I did put a thing on signs in there, because if you, once you hit the button, you have to wait like 3 to 5 seconds before it flushes.
Yeah, that was a good idea to put the sign
I put
in.
a sign there, hey, push the button and wait 3 to 5 seconds, it will activate.
Good.
Because,
Well, these are things we find out.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We
You
just
push the
figured out-
button and the vacuumator comes on, you can hear it running,
Yeah,
and then it
then
flushes.
flushes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, next thing we'll have to figure out is how we know when to
Have it-
get it pumped out.
Yeah.
We can pump it out.
Yeah, well, you know what we'll do is, we're not gonna need it by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So we'll have it pumped and see how much comes out.
Yeah,
Then we'll know where we're at.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'll get on that too, Joe, because I had called a couple people about it.
Let me know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that Justin's doing a great job down there. I mean, he's been taking initiative and doing stuff in the fields. He's even going in the woods and clearing brush and all that stuff there, a little bit, so, real nice.
Cool.
Looks pretty good down there.
Yeah, because that was in our conversation with Franklin. Like Mike was telling him, oh no, they got a guy down there taking care of it, so they stopped trimming. They were trimming,
Yeah, they
and they'll go back to trimming. But Mike told them they didn't have to. Because, no, Mike.
No. Oh, Mike Vickery.
He told them they didn't have to.
Well, another thing, the trash. I hate to beat a dead horse on this one. Before, somebody was taking it out every week, beautiful, never a problem. Mike mentioned it one day, oh, you guys should pick this up, highway department's gonna start charging you. I'm like, it's gone every week, I'm happy. Well, somehow now, stuff's starting to pile up a little bit. So what Justin's been doing, I didn't realize, he's been going and getting it, driving it down here. Like, Jesus, I mean, well, I told him, you can go to Clear Pond with it, but I don't know if they stopped doing it or not, the highway department. But I guess they were coming by taking the trash. Somehow it now is piling up. Especially if the guys, softball people, the football ball people have a couple of drinks afterwards and all that.
As far as I know, during the summer with Clay Pond people, that they had done it.
Because it was
We
disappearing.
had a dumpster down there.
Yes, there was a dumpster
We've
there.
always
too.
had a
Not this
dumpster
year.
down there. I know, but we've had a dumpster
Yeah,
down
but
there.
it was,
We didn't
this
have
year,
one
it was-
last year though.
Yes, we did.
Dumpster?
Yes, we
I
did.
don't think it was
Where?
last year either.
Yep.
Was it?
Because it was down there when
Oh,
we
yeah.
the tournament, because it was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
natural.
yeah.
Well, we put one down there this year for that one weekend tournament. We did that. I brought one in for the 2 days and that's it, because people use it driving by. We don't want a dumpster down there, because you won't believe what's gonna show up in that dumpster.
No, I-
So, my point is, I don't know who's taking it or who was taking it. They were doing a nice job. Now it's, Justin doesn't know what to do with it when he gets it. He said he brought it down here, left it in front of the maintenance doors down here. I'm like, wait a minute, yeah. So whoever was doing it before, did they stop? So I don't know if someone told highway guys to stop doing it.
Well,
They
it's
just
really
dump
not
it
the
in the
highway
dumpster.
department's job to do that.
No, but whoever was doing it was doing it. It was
Yeah.
disappearing somewhere before Justin started working.
Because the Clear Pond crew wasn't working yet, I believe the highway guys were taking it when they were going down there mowing, because there wasn't a lot.
Right, it wasn't a lot. Now
Okay,
it's a lot.
well, somehow, now Justin's taking care of it, but I said, I just didn't know, the other day it was pretty full of some of the barrels there, so someone wasn't taking it. I'll keep an eye on that, whatever, but
Yeah,
it looks like something changed, that's all.
yeah, they stopped
There's
taking
no
it.
problem.
They stopped taking it.
So why did they stop?
Because in the past, we had a dumpster there, the Clear Pond guys would come down and dump it.
Okay, but
When they were wild.
this year we didn't have a dumpster.
That's the
And-
point.
and
It
it was-
had nothing to do with the.
And it was disappearing. It was gone.
I
It's just like in the last month, this has started, I mean, it's been May, June, no problem. They were using it a lot, disappearing. I'm saying whoever it was disappearing with, something's changed, that's all. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. Just now, take care of that.
Mystery.
I don't want to put the dumpster back down there.
Mystery
So we'll
trash.
see how we get rid of it. So,
Okay,
I told him if he has to bring it out of Clear Pond, throw it in the dumpster down there.
yep,
So I guess that's what Doug said it's done in the past, so. That's all I get for John Pond.
okay. New fields.
Bid one, the contract has been signed, he brought in all his paper, he's a go to start working. He's gonna start this week.
Nice.
You said we start today.
And when I say he, I mean Mark Wilson from Northeast Hydro Seed.
Awesome.
Bid number two has not been awarded yet. The low bidder was not Mark. You guys know, I don't know how much I'm repeating. There was a contractor from Connecticut that bid $36,000. Northeast Hydro Seed bid $37,300, and there was two other bids that were way higher, $55,000 and $65,000.
How would someone from Connecticut bid 36,000?
Okay, so that was the
Seems
question.
awfully fishy, no?
So, I called him, and I said, did you come to the walkthrough? And he said, no. I said, well, how did you bid it without knowing what it was? He said, well, I looked at the bid specs, and I need a filler. So, I just bid it, figuring what I could do. So, I said, well, don't you think you should take a look at it? So, Scott and I met him down there, what was that, Friday? Thursday evening. Walked through the whole thing. He now has a good idea what it was, but has informed us that he can't work with the material that's there, and suggested we bring in 700 yards of loom
But that's now his bid.
on top of,
Yeah.
that's about $21,000 to $25,000. He said really what we need is 1,000
Yeah,
yards alone.
that could make do with 700.
Do I have that here? Yeah, for turf. Following up on our site meeting, as indicated, there is simply not enough soil material on site for the project to allow for the root base. As discussed, you will need to furnish additional soil for the area. Currently, there is no water hookup or supply for the system. That was the other thing he said, the water has to be in before you can do it. I don't know why. Please indicate if you're going to get the required material for the field and when the proposed water is going to be available. Additionally, there are no corner stakes or layout provisions for the field. It would have to be staked using an instrument. Please advise on how you intend to proceed. Thank you. So then he called me right after he sent this morning. And I said, well, I talked to the person who won the first bid, and he says there's plenty of material on site. I told him that we had talked to Franklin from the highway department, and they're gonna bring down a bunch of organics, and he also has a bunch of good loom down there that it's been sitting there for several years, that he's willing to bring down here for us. What do you say, about 100 yards?
Yeah, he needs the room.
So, I don't know who to believe. We have to make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen on what bid to go with. My gut reaction right off the top is to say, give it to the guy who's $1,300 more.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
not buy
Well, it's-
21,000 to 25,000.
For me, it's the certainty of doing it, that you know it's gonna be done.
Yeah, this guy's a big contractor, the one from Connecticut.
Yeah. So the guy who is already knows how to work with the area, I guess, I have more certainty that he's gonna do a good job in the second field. Not because the bid is any amount, but because he's already doing the first field.
Well,
It just makes sense.
yeah, so, right.
So we vote on this and then take it to select.
Well, I don't know, Scott went through that big, a second big pile, you said it was full of rocks, right? You guys,
The third one.
okay, you guys dug through it and it was,
The first one that's allocated to field one.
Yeah.
The second one, we were able to dig right into it. It was the third one way in the back that you couldn't put a shovel into it. It hasn't been screened at all.
okay.
So,
I think, I get the feeling that this guy doesn't want to send a screener down there and screen it. So he
Because
was
his-
telling us to bring.
his
you know,
suggestion was, you bring in the loom, I'll spread it on the field, and then we'll take this pile and I'll do the outskirts with it. I'm like, so what are you gonna screen? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, he wasn't even
I'm
gonna
going,
screen
oh,
it
okay,
in
that's
mix, he didn't want to
making
screen the
your
mix.
job profitable.
Yep.
I know, I mean, I
You have to
don't
work
think,
with what we have.
I don't think he's meeting the specifications
I
of the
agree.
bid, but there's a very slippery slope by not taking the lowest bid, so,
But we did that for something
and
else.
it's, I mean,
Right, but we were able to.
we can make a recommendation, and,
Oh, it was the
and I'll go talk to the selectmen, and I'll let them know everything that I know. It's just ultimately up to them what
But
they
the
choose.
simple specification of the bid is the loom that he needs to work with, and if he doesn't
Is
have
on
the
site,
loom,
yeah.
if he flat out said, I can't work with what's here, then that he almost automatically disqualified, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't even think he's the lowest bid if he's asking you to bring in.
No,
Exactly.
he's doubling the price.
Exactly. So I think that's a fair argument to say now we have, this is what this guy wants to do, and this is the real cost.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
as indicated, there was simply not enough soil material on site for the project to allow for root space.
That's his bid, you know?
So
That
his
seems
bid
fair.
goes from 36,000 to 60,000.
Yep. Which is in line with the other bids, ish.
Yeah.
you know,
I don't know.
we may have to, we may have to supplement, 100 yards or something at the end to get the required depth we want, but that's not gonna be $25,000.
So we're also gonna try to work with what we have.
Well, yeah, no,
You
first
don't
of all-
need to.
That's the point.
But he says you got plenty. Someone said you have plenty of depth. So you don't
The
even need
guy,
one, yeah.
fellow who won the first bid and bid on the second one, was the second lowest, said that there's plenty of material there.
Like, to me, the bid specifications are, can you do the work, and can you do the work with the material that's there?
Right.
And you bid on that, and he's basically saying, I can't bid on this.
Well, he bid on it without even looking at it.
Exactly. So that, I would say, you think you're gonna push back on not taking that bid?
Because the other thing is the third pile could get screened and probably get half of it. And he's saying, oh, you're not gonna get any, it's not
He
gonna
didn't
worth
want to
screening.
touch it. He didn't want to touch
He
it.
didn't want to touch it because it's not worth screening because you're not gonna get anything. You might get 40 yards, he says.
So my point is, we probably all agree that the second bid is probably the one to do. I mean, at least I do. What, would the selectmen to push back on it? I doubt it, right?
I just know that,
They pushed back on the other one even though we had
it was a lot of
good
work
reasons.
to get the bathrooms through because it was a higher bid by like $2,000. So
Can we, do we wanna make a consensus, like, vote?
Oh, we're gonna make a recommendation
You guys-
because they're gonna vote on it.
It says a recommendation, yeah. It's so obvious. It's
What
gonna
else
happen.
did
This
he
guy's
say?
gonna come in and he's gonna be like, oh yeah, get it for like 60. We're like, we have the money.
yeah. The other thing he said that kind of concerned me, and that, I don't know, he just kind of said, he said to both of us, oh, this is just a fill-in for me. I have a big job starting in September.
Exactly.
This
You
is
get
just,
bummed,
just
all
get
that
us
stuff.
through. I said, are you gonna make any money on this? He's like, no, probably not, it's just a fill-in. So that tells me his priorities are not with
We'll get
town
back
of
to
Lakeville.
an issue, so if it's bag, forget that
Oh, and he
guy.
lives in Connecticut.
So anyway, what do you guys think?
I think we should go with the second bid. Simply based on the fact that his bid, we can, I think it's fair to say that if you're talking to selectmen, that we can call his bid not accurate because he didn't walk through, and when he did walk through, his bid was closer to 60.
Right.
That's fair. If he came
Good way
outside
to
and
put
bid
it,
it,
yeah.
then different, right? But
Yeah, good way to put it.
Yeah, I agree with you. But then again, you get three guys up on 50, 60, this one guy's at 37. So is there a reason for that so low?
he's just working with what's there.
Because he's working with what's
Creativity.
it, it's all labor.
I mean, I know, Bob, I'd say go with that guy there for sure.
And the continuity between using the
We'll
same
see.
guy for both is just so much better.
We have a bid, you know, the selectmen were very adamant that we had $75,000 to do this. So,
Are we gonna go
for
over?
the whole, no,
I mean,
not,
well, what's the
Like
first,
over by
what's the first,
$1,000.
what's the first
36.
bid?
36.
What's the first bid?
39,300.
All right, so we're over by $300.
Yeah, right. $1,300.
$1,300.
That's not $30,000.
Which is the difference of the
The
bid,
bid.
right?
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah. Anyway,
Do we have 1,300 to make up for it?
We can do the 1,300. It's 30,000 more, 25,000 more we don't have.
Yeah, of course.
right.
So, I don't know. I mean, to me, that if I'm a selectman and you said this is logically what happened, and you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I think if we, you know, like I said, I'll go to the meeting and I'll tell them everything we know.
You can call
I
it,
mean,
I would call it almost like
We've done our due diligence
legal
here.
bid, yeah. And the other thing that's interesting is you have other bids that are similar to his price, and they probably have similar specs. Like we could bring in loom, we could do whatever,
Mhm.
so it's consistent.
Right. So, anyway,
I don't know, do you guys
what do you guys think?
feedback?
I should go with that a little bit.
I think it's gonna suck easy, make us think about that.
Easy beans.
Well, do we put in a motion?
I'll make a motion to make a recommendation to take the second bid from Northeast Hydro Seed, what you said it was? For 30, what was it, 36?
37,300.
37,500 based on the criteria of what an inaccurate bid of the first.
Do I have a second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
It's an unanimous vote.
Okay, that's what I'll do. I mean, we can only give them the information that we have.
Yep.
It's ultimately their decision, but, you know,
Ultimately, what will happen is if we have to go with the first bid, we're gonna have an inch of soil, 2 inches of soil in the second field,
hmm?
based on this guy's
Yep.
assessment.
If he shows up.
Okay.
But this is the second
I
field.
haven't seen him yet, but, what's today, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Monday.
Monday.
Sorry. Doug Mann is supposed to be there this week to put in the
Yeah, he's gonna be there this
well.
week.
And,
General.
that's it for me. We're almost there. Battle.
And
Gonna break ground eventually.
Yeah, people will be excited to see trucks and stuff out there.
Huh?
People will be excited to see machines out there.
I think.
yeah,
It'd be nice to be able to answer when somebody says, hey, what's going on with those fields?
We're
They're
working
under
on it.
construction.
Well, what the nice thing right now is they're budgeted and a bid is accepted and they're working on it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good too.
okay. So we're good on the new fields? Good? All
Okay, I'm
right.
done.
Before we get into any new business, haunted house. Nellie reached out again and hadn't heard anything. I called the gentleman this morning, Glenn, left a message.
The old board.
Yep.
Yep.
And he then responded to Nellie with an email stating that they had tried to get another group to take over. Doesn't look like that's gonna happen. That they will be down to clear out their stuff.
Okay.
Because when I left the message, I said, if you guys aren't gonna do it, we need the keys. So that if there is someone else coming in there or not, we have the keys to the locks.
Yeah.
Or we'll put our own locks on there, whatever. He didn't call me back, but he did send Nellie an email saying that they can't get anybody to take it, and that they need to, they're gonna come down and get their stuff. So I'm sure they have tools and extension cords and different things. On another note, that means we will lose our biggest fundraiser. That'll be a dent in things.
Was it 10 grand?
12 grand. That's where that stands. And the other thing is, I don't know, does everybody have a copy there of the final numbers?
Summer. This?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, what's on the first page here? This is the first page, front and back, okay? It's two-sided. That's the total expenditures summarized. That's just by category what the total is. So if you look at the first column, that's our budget. The second column is what was expended. I mean, in the middle column, you say year-to-date expended, and then way over on the right is what's left to be spent from our budget.
So 12K then.
Well, it's not gonna be spent, it's gonna be a surplus.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, well,
Oh, yeah.
it's unexpensed expenditures.
Oh,
It's not a surplus.
As of June 30th.
As of June 30th.
Got it.
Right. But you gotta remember, in that total budget of 330 was 150 of capital expenditures and $52,000 of encumbrance money from last year. Okay? The 175, we spent 58,000 of it, so we didn't spend $8,900. And of the encumbrance money that was shown as encumbered or classified as accounts payable, if that makes more sense to you. The big number that didn't get spent, 42,000, was for the parking lot, thank you.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if we get a better number, we may have to include that for special town meeting. So we'll see.
That was our money.
Right.
That we encumbered
So
last
we didn't
year.
spend, we had a budget of 330 and didn't spend 135,000 of it, so we spent roughly 200,000.
But that wasn't that's our money that we encumbered and didn't use.
Right,
Yeah.
didn't use it. That's the expenses, okay? Then, as you can see, she says detail, so you can skip all the way to the last page, and that's the revenue. And that's summarized. I've asked for a detailed one, but I haven't got that as of yet.
This is last year.
This is for June that just ended. We budgeted 251,000 plus the 75 to make it to 330. Okay? Of the 251 that we budgeted, we brought in 253, 913. So, you know, while it's not exactly each account what we figured, in total, we did pretty good. So we're
What
just gonna
page are you
go,
on again? I'm
the
sorry.
very last
The very
page.
last one says
Very last
revenue.
page,
It
this
says
is
revenue.
revenue
Looks like this.
on the top.
Wow, this is all expenses.
That was all
for like a
detail,
month.
that was all detail.
Oh, okay.
Is what that was. I've requested the detail for the revenue too, but, so you can see right in the first thing, just like what Dougie was saying, was the season's passes went up. Even though we dropped the price for townspeople, the season's passes went up. And we knew that was gonna happen. What we did figure was that the, gate fees were gonna go down, but they didn't. They didn't go down as much. So we got more in-town people, and what he said, what happened was the out-of-town people didn't buy the passes because they were $50 more, but they paid at the gate. So ultimately, they probably paid more.
They brought
This
in
would've been good for the first
$56,000.
guy,
Wow.
No?
Yeah. He said,
That's even more.
primarily, your gate fees were a lot of out-of-town people. I mean, that's half the money. That's half the money coming in. So the second thing was a concession stand, did very well. That increased. Swimming lessons, again, we dropped the price and the amount went up. So I think that's a correlation with the season's passes went up. People are taking swimming lessons, which is a great thing. It's great to see the kids getting swimming lessons. Group outing fee went up a little bit. Obviously, you see the gate fees did. Group outing, what's this? Here, went down a little bit. Field rentals, field fees, which is other field rental, that actually went up
Is that
for the first time.
This park?
That's our, you know, horseshoe fee,
Yeah.
volleyball fee, baseball fee.
Yeah.
That actually went up. This is the first time it's gone up in years. Okay?
Nice job.
Yeah.
Collecting the money.
Nice job collecting the money.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I mean, because like I said, it kept going down. I think it was
Over
20, I think it was
$6,000
$28,000 the first year I
uncollected
came here,
money.
it just steadily went down.
There's also more teams that do it there too, you know?
Um,
Like lacrosse is a whole
The,
revenue. that
the
was-
next few numbers are concerning to me.
Yep.
The hall rental is down by $5,000. And the next number has me absolutely perplexed. Is the
Bar rental?
Something's wrong.
It's half. It's half of what it was.
Something's wrong.
That's our budgeted number though. We don't, that's not necessarily what we made
The
last year.
budget is based on what we did last year, though.
But that's what we budget, whatever we want.
No, but it is,
I know it's loose, I mean, it's based on it, but it's not necessarily the same number.
no, but I'm gonna tell you what the number was.
It's definitely off, don't get me wrong.
Way off. It was 27,000 last
Okay.
year. So we bumped it up because
Said we're gonna get more.
we're gonna get more.
Can we ask SEM?
Yeah, because I looked in the, sorry, I looked in the detail that we had in May's. I did get a detail of May revenues, and there was no deposit since April. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I mean, there's been plenty going on here, not to have a deposit. I'm totally floored.
What's interesting to me is that part of this contract that we paid for wasn't just the management of this place, that's obviously a huge benefit.
Yep.
But if I remember correctly, when Ken was doing it, it was a lot of, oh, they're gonna promote it, they're gonna get more weddings, right, which makes sense, because they're a professional company.
Yep.
And the opposite happened,
Yep.
right? And the fees didn't go up, did they?
They're-
Did they change?
We're paying $200 a month.
No, not with that, with SEM, I'm saying the rental fees.
But the rental fees didn't go up until just a couple months ago, which
Right.
aren't really gonna
No.
come to fruition for the next 2 years.
Right, so it wasn't some fee structure that didn't work out.
No.
Yeah, right.
And the only thing is, if you go down 2/3 of the way, you see food services, we budgeted 27.5, and we get 27.7. So we've got,
People are buying food.
no, but we got the catering,
Yeah.
and 87 out of 92, we've got pretty much the hall rental, but the bar service is in half. I'm perplexed. After the bar service, we have the studio rental, which is over here, the karate studio. He's right on the ball. Field electric was up only because the number was budgeted low, because in prior years, he was offsetting the electric, and then all of a sudden he said he can't do that anymore. So now it's coming as an income number instead of reducing our electric bill. Obviously, you see the food service is right on the number. The bottle revenue, which I contribute to, bring your returnables down to the station. Right on target, 33 out of 3,500. And earnings on investment, because we had such a big retained earnings in prior years, this is what this number was. This will probably go down next year because we're spending the retained earnings. So that investment number will go down. And then the miscellaneous, or the fundraising revenue, 13,055, 12,000 is from Haunted House. And I think the other 1,000 was donations from the Eleanor Gamache. She was a former member. I didn't realize that. And was instrumental way back. And so they had money donated when she passed away this spring, came into the park. So personally, I'd like to, whatever we decide to do with it, I'd like to take a picture of whatever we do, if it's make a new garden or do something, and then kind of earmark some of that. It's $1,000.
What's miscellaneous?
Miscellaneous, zero? You
There
know?
wasn't anything there.
Oh, why was the budget for 6 though?
Because the prior year, we got some miscellaneous deposit of something. So
So
anyway,
where does the money show up for like the triathlon? Is that in other field rental?
Good question.
Can't be.
I believe, but we can check with Nellie. Shouldn't be, that's a big, that would mean we're only getting 13,000 in revenue then. I believe it's going in, let's see,
It's kind of,
maybe it is.
or group outing?
It might be group outing.
It seems high for like,
Good.
No, group outing, it's a 9,000, it was a $9,000, wasn't it $6,000 or something?
It's over 7.
Yeah. Well, see, it
gotta
gets
be in
broken up,
other
that gets
field
broken up
rentals.
too. Part of it was concessions on food, because
Yeah,
they had food, so then then the rental,
yeah.
so some of it went in, some of it goes in as hall rental, like $900, and then some of it goes in as field rental, and then some of it comes in as food. It gets split up.
Okay.
I have an accounting question.
So where, oh gosh, go ahead. Where are we? This is what we brought
So we
in,
brought in 253,
yeah?
and we spent
251.
250, I think.
Budgeted.
Well, we spent, we spent 313. But remember, 150 we had budgeted for capital improvements.
We didn't spend it then, that's
We
just,
didn't
that's
spend
being rolled,
75.
that's being rolled back in then.
Well, 75 is not being rolled back in, that's being kept in capital expenditures. We don't even have to go for that, we have that.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna pay for the fields,
Yeah,
okay? We didn't have to put that in the budget, it's already staying there.
yeah, but we didn't lose $75,000. It just didn't get spent,
Right,
right?
right,
Okay.
right, we didn't lose it. Right, so, I mean,
There's two things that, so
we really only spent 200, because our budget was 330. And we have left 135, so we really only spent 200
Okay,
when you really look at it.
less than 200 actually.
Yeah, less than 200.
Yeah. So we'll have that difference between 253 and the 190, whatever it is, will go into retained earnings?
Hopefully.
What do you mean by hopefully? Isn't that the process?
yes.
That's the process.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So there's two things that add up fast. One is not having the haunted house.
Yep.
So
gonna hurt
that's,
us.
because that's in our budget, correct?
Yeah, it's in our budget for 2020.
And the now potentially normalized hall rental, I mean the bar rental. So that's really now 16. We're down like 30 grand, aren't we?
Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah.
I had a question on bar rental. So the 16,000 that we pulled in a year, how's the money getting counted at the end of each day? Is there a point of sale system? I don't know, I don't see something. Or are they just
No.
counting the money at the end of the day, this is what we made, and they don't know how many drinks they sold or anything?
I don't know
but they've
exactly.
been the bartending service here forever.
Right.
It's the same company.
Right.
Even before they were the management company, they did all the bar
Right.
for like
It's always been the
forever.
same employees too?
Maybe not,
No, not the same employees. I mean, those the employees have changed.
I wonder if a point of sale system could cure a little problem or something, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to give you a little bit of information here. Find it. This is. Now, I do have the detailed receipts as of May 31st, so 1 month short. And,
So we're missing months is the problem.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. This is the revenue report of June, this is the revenue report. I knew this was gonna happen, it always happens. Everything gets mixed up. 319, 319. This is May.
So Jesse, I think what I think is happening is, I'm guessing, is there was a bunch of stuff in April and May that they didn't correlate with us before our budget closed.
So it could potentially
Be
have an
higher.
extra 2 months on
Maybe.
next year's potentially.
Yeah,
3 months.
there was, what I saw, I'm trying to find, if I can find the May, I can tell you what I want to say.
You're talking 6 months worth. They're gonna get half the year.
Bar rental.
But it's all, remember, it's all like, they get all their weddings in the summer.
Right, but I'm just, if you have just for the year, though, yeah, I hate it, but I was just saying, okay, it's, if you just.
Bar rental as of May,
Oh, it's
bar rental
definitely
as of May was 13.2, and it's what now, 16?
16.8.
Right, so we got 3,000 in the month of June, but there was no deposit from May 19th to whatever time in June. The whole month of May, I have a feeling it got put someplace else.
No, that would explain it then.
But,
It's still off
but we're still down.
a lot.
If-
No,
if-
no, no, I agree.
If it got put
Let's say
into
it's 3
hall
grand.
rental, if it got put into hall rental, then hall
Yeah,
rental
hall's off.
should be, right, exactly.
And it's only $3,000.
But like Jesse says, if we're down and you show him that much in that line item, that's all
It's a red
cash.
flag.
That's all cash.
There's a red flag.
That's the most obvious place that money would be missing.
Yep, there's a red
And
flag.
they did have to get rid of someone, didn't they?
They did, just recently.
Just,
Just recently, they did.
So we can ask them.
Gonna,
yeah.
gonna. Let's see.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're not making money either,
Well,
in theory.
either that or we're not getting paid what we're supposed to get paid.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a matter of, they give Nellie a copy of the invoice for the food, and we know the rental of the hall, and then we get a percentage of their sales. But I don't know what the backup is for the sales,
Yeah.
Is it just their word or what? I don't know.
It's like the honey hustle, right?
Yeah, no, it is. So, anyhow, the revenues are there, but they're shorter than what they should be. I don't know why.
And we did have a surplus. Okay.
Yeah, we're good at
yep.
not spending money, but.
Yep,
Yeah.
we did have a surplus. The other question here that Nellie gave was she gave me back this bill, clean the coil evaporator on the central air conditioning unit over at the karate studio. I looked at the contract. The contract says he's to pay X amount of dollars a month. And we're responsible for electric and heat. And that he is responsible for any other utilities, meaning phone, internet, things like that. It doesn't say who is to pay for repairs in the contract, signed by the selectmen. So I don't know who's,
Is there repairs to the building?
it's, he cleaned the coil in the AC.
Well,
$150.
Wasn't cheap either.
No, so I mean, is it our?
Well, who owns the unit? We own the unit.
yeah. It's just like if someone broke the car.
Right, but there are leases where you pay all the repairs.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't specifically spell it out then.
It doesn't spell it one way or the other.
I think it's assumed it's probably us.
Sounds to me like if we're responsible for paying for the AC running, we might be responsible for fixing it too.
Yeah, he doesn't pay for AC, right? Well, he does electric.
Right, we're paying for the electric.
We're paying for it.
Put in the paid bill. No, right, that's a good point. Wasn't thinking about that. We're paying the electric and the electric's coming under that, so. Guess it's our responsibility. Okay. Anything else? Any new business? Any discussion about Triple E? Or is that a dead horse? We all know
Who
it.
does as
I
much as
didn't
we
mean that
can.
to say that way. Didn't mean to say that way. I take that back. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
Damn funny, I like that. I give you kudos for that.
We all know what the thing is on that.
Yeah.
I think,
So, I got a question on that. So, obviously, I know it was, Board of Health said we had to do it, but we really didn't have a plan. We just people went all different directions.
They did.
Goes this, goes and that. So, what do we do next time? Can we maybe come up with a plan of what we do when something like this happens again, what we, as a group, could do?
yeah, we can.
And maybe if it goes the other way, they come out to tell you tomorrow, hey, it's it's off, what do we do? So people don't go crazy.
Right.
So
I
maybe
think generally,
communicate one way or.
here's what I did, only because I was around the last time it happened, was I instructed Nellie to immediately email all the groups that use the fields, all the groups that she had in the Rolodex. I had her post it on whatever social media. I believe it was also posted on Lakeville. I know the fire department posted it. Town Hall posted it.
But can we get a heads up? I mean,
Well, isn't it the fire department gave us the breaking news that we were?
Because they were at Town Hall. They were at Town Hall when
Okay.
I had to call Town Hall to find out what's going on. And that's when I was told that they closed the camp. No, I know what you're saying, Joe. I know. And
I know I'm not blaming anybody, I'm just saying.
I just took the bull by the horns and said, I gotta put up signs and make sure you get this stuff out. And
Yeah, I mean, well, you should have to do all that either, I guess the point is, should be,
Well, we can make a
call
plan.
a
Yep.
meeting for all of us to say, okay, let's break up, you know.
Yep, we can
everything
do
that
that.
has to be done. You
can
do
also
this,
do-
do that, whatever.
We can do that.
We can also do a liaison too for any like emergency type things. The liaisons work because the problem is can't get together, we can't legally communicate over mass email, right?
Right.
So it's like, okay, do we all get together and sit down and do this, or is it like, we'll just appoint someone to say, if there's some sort of a last second emergency, you're kind of in charge and, you know.
But we come up with
That's
a
what we
plan.
do.
I know what Joe's saying. We come up with a plan, and this is what we do.
Oh,
That's what
for
I'll know,
AAA
but-
specifically, you know, like for this next year, you mean?
Well, anything else like this comes up, I don't know who knows what will come up next, I mean, just saying, I mean, it just, you took the bull by the horns and ran with it,
Right.
but, I've been, you know,
'Cause it was-
people get calls from different places, so
It was
this is.
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
You
and
can't
they
play
said-
after 4 o'clock, you can't play with the lights on.
Well, that's
No
my
one
point of
knows
having,
what's going on,
that's
that's
my
all.
point of having a liaison, like, we all work through someone, and someone's like, yep, I called and talked to so-and-so, and this is what we're doing.
Just
They
sometimes.
didn't even call us.
Wouldn't this be
I understand.
similar
It's a
to
different problem, I get it.
closing for some emergency storm coming? Like,
Yeah,
it's
same thing.
similar along the
Yep,
line.
yep, right. Yeah, no, I mean, and it's something that we can work on here in the fall. I think it's a good time to do that and come up with a plan, you know, emergency closure.
Yep.
And, you know, and we'll, I think we assign someone to be that person,
Yeah.
be the lead person on it, but that doesn't mean we all can't help and all have a job to do.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's good,
I think that's, you know, something that we kind of build on here in the fall as things are going on.
yeah. Good idea.
When things kind of slow down and you know, we get the fields going and the fields built and they're getting watered and we can stand there and watch them grow.
Yeah.
Anybody got any new business they want to add? Any remarks for the good of the group?
Nice
Okay.
job, guys.
Huh?
Nice job, everybody.
All right, how about next meeting?
The 19th?
Is that a Monday?
I'm gonna be away the second half of the month, so it'll be without me.
Today's the 5th, right? So we're talking, I don't have a calendar in front of me, so
Today's the 5th, yes.
14 days, right?
19th would be
19th
2 weeks, eh?
would be the Monday. That's not a holiday or anything, no?
6:30?
6:30 still good with everybody? Okay, so we'll set the next meeting for Monday, the 19th at 6:30. I have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 9:10. Thank you, everyone.